This is the Real Change Wilmington podcast, episode 82, 4 generations of Swindler Sons family florists with our guests today, Kristin Ondulick and Caitlin Mefford.
I want to preserve our family legacy so much. And I have such a great memory of how it used to be, how Swindlers used to be. And I'm not saying I want to go back 40 years in the past, but I think I want to bring Swindlers to that same glory, but in this time, in 2026.
What is going on, everyone? This is your host of the Real Change Wilmington podcast, Dustin Pierce. Real Change is a positive, constructive, and lighthearted source of local news events and resources. On our podcast, we interview leaders of organizations to help squash rumors and encourage a greater sense of pride in our community. We have a great episode for you today with our guests, Kristin Ondulick and Caitlin Mefford, 2 of the 4 Swindler sisters of Swindler & Sons, and now the 4th generation owners of their family's local floral business. Kristin and Caitlin both grew up in Wilmington working at the greenhouse, went on to have successful careers and families of their own, but all the while dreamed of one day taking over their family's business, which they finally did back in 2024. If you have been to the flower shop recently, you will notice their new entrance, local gifts, and other updates that they hope will help keep Swindler & Sons serving Wilmington for another 100 years. This is a bit of a longer podcast than usual, but when else are you going to get an opportunity like this to have an intimate look into one of Wilmington's most iconic local businesses and families? We not only hear about Kristin and Caitlin's great-grandfather, Irvin Swindler, who started the business over 100 years ago after working in a factory and wanting more financial security of his future, but we also hear about challenges that the sisters faced when they purchased the business, including how a small utility issue nearly cost them over $10,000 to fix until local community members stepped in and helped save the day. Throughout our conversations, what is clear is that Kristin and Caitlin both have a passion for Wilmington and understand the value flowers have as part of every important event in life, including births, birthdays, holidays, weddings, and even funerals. I had a lot of fun on this podcast listening to Kristin and Caitlin, and I hope you do as well. So with that, let's bring in our guests and get this podcast started. So it's Kristin, not Kirsten or something.
Kristin.
Okay, because there's Kirstins that really confuses me. Kristin, Caitlin.
So all of our names end in IN.
Oh,
our
nice.
mom
Thought that would be really cute in the
Thought-
80s.
Yeah.
I thought she was doing something.
So I'm the oldest, and then our sister Erin, Erin, and then Robin,
Oh, nice.
who they thought was a boy and was going to be named Robert, but she came out a girl, so Robin, and Caitlin. Yeah, IN. All girls.
Are you guys?
Swindler sisters,
Yeah.
or the Swindler girls. Yeah.
We're the Swindler girls.
Like swindler kind of sounds like a negative thing, like you're a swindler. Or like,
Okay, so what's
Yeah.
so?
I was
let me
going to
speak to
defer.
this.
So growing up, no one ever said that because I think
Oh, yeah.
just around here,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like Buckley
Just a
Brothers.
name,
It's
yes.
a name.
Yeah.
And I think I was in college when the first person like made a comment like, "Oh, are you going to swindle me?" And I'm like, "You are the first person in like 19 years that has
Yeah.
ever even made that."
Did you go off to college somewhere?
Yeah, I just went to Wright State, but yeah.
Okay.
I
You
mean,
don't
it
know
was-
who I am?
I know you don't know my last name. My
So
goodness.
I went to Ohio State, and during freshman orientation, so there's like, massive auditorium. They would call your name, you have to go up and get whatever. And I remember Dad was there, and they called Kristin Swindler, and people started laughing. And I was like, what happened? Like, what did I miss?
Yeah.
And, I'd go up and get my thing, and I said, did something happen when they called my name? And he was like, they're laughing at our last name. And I was like, what? I did not know
I know. Well,
that there was a negative. Yeah, it was just like,
and one of my favorite murder podcasts, their new favorite thing is Calling People Swindlers. And so it takes me out of the podcast because I'm like, oh, that's my name.
Yeah.
But they keep saying.
and you think that there is, obviously with a name like that it's rooted in something, right? That
Mm.
somewhere down the line, somebody that you are blood relative to
Sure.
is not a good person, right?
Yeah.
It's like dubious. But our sister Erin and Caitlin started this. She did this whole background on the name Swindler and the origins. And they were flax makers and flax weavers.
What's a flax?
I don't know. I think it's fabric.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
this,
But
and
what was the other?
allegedly, so take this with a grain of salt. This
This
was
is our
past, this
sister.
was
Yeah,
passed
yeah.
This is
down.
our sister Erin, who's crazy.
That apparently you
In a good way.
like,
Okay.
it's like fabric bundlers. So when you bundle fabric, you swindle it together.
I can send you her PowerPoint.
Mm. Yeah.
This could
To
all
prove
be
that you're not bad people.
No, I feel like
Is
I
that
have
what it is?
to. I feel like I have
criminal
to
stuff.
because
Yeah.
I mean, it's so terrible. And I remember thinking, of course, after I realized it, oh my God, I'm going to be so happy when I get married. We'll be so happy when I get married. Then I won't have that weird last name that people are like, oh.
Yeah, and now you're on Ondulick.
And now I'm Ondulick and everybody
I've never
thinks
heard that
I'm
before,
foreign, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's a physician, and so he has patients that have been referred to him or for whatever that are meeting with him for the first time, and they look at him, they're like, where are you from? He's like, Pittsburgh. They're like, where were you born?
Oh, wow.
Pittsburgh?
That's kind of racist.
Yeah.
I mean, but,
Before you touch me, like, where were you?
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
but I mean, but it's one of the, and, you know, he thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just, or it's the opposite. Oh, I'm so glad you're.
old people have no filter.
I know. It's crazy.
We see it at the greenhouse too.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. I mean, everybody's doing the best they can.
They just assume you agree with whatever crazy thing they're about to say. You're like, and you're just like, wow.
Or where everyone's like therapist at the greenhouse. I mean, I hear everything.
Anyway.
So
yeah,
I'm on Ondulick, and
Continue.
it's hard to say. It's like the best description is on Donner, on Prancer, on Vixen, on Ondulick.
That is hilarious.
I had an engineer tell me that. It's like, I've been waiting all fall.
I tried to do some research this morning on you guys just so I could get up to speed on stuff, I guess. I saw this cool old picture. What's the Moors? Is that a thing?
Okay, yeah. So
well, we're not started yet, so we can
yes.
I didn't know if you want to include all that crazy stuff we just talked about in the podcast.
Oh, why not?
Okay, well that's fine.
I'm just.
It doesn't matter.
Listen.
Well, we can just have been started then. So yeah, I got this old picture from the News Journal. I think the History Center posted it. It is your building. It says Morris and Swindler Florists in the background. It looks like to be is it the old high school or something, or a school building?
It's the junior.
Yeah, the junior high.
Yeah. So our great-grandfather, Irvin, when he first started working, he was working at a company and he had an older gentleman training him. And I think the gentleman that was training him was like 40 years old and he was 18 years old. And then after the 2 weeks of him being trained at this factory, they fired the older gentleman. And so then our great-grandfather said to himself, I don't want to ever be in that position because one day I'm going to be 40 years old and there's going to be some young kid who comes in who I train, who is going to take my source of income. So he'd always been interested in flowers and floristry. And so he started working with Mr. Moore. And then after 2 years, so in 1921, and then in 1923, our grandfather Irvin bought the business from Mr. Moore, but just kept the name Moores and Swindler. So that's the, and that would be Grandpa Irvin's. And then right behind it, you can kind of see the stack of, I don't know, it's a brick stack, but that goes to the boiler.
That's still there, right?
It's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We affectionately call her Big Bertha, but she's a massive.
She looks like it's about the size of a train car. That's how giant.
Do you still have a boiler, or is that?
Oh, she's still there.
Oh, it's still working?
It's not working.
Oh, it's not working.
It's too.
She's out of commission, but it is massive. I mean, I bet it was state of the art back in the 1920s and 30s.
We just recently, I would say within probably the last 20 years, stopped using Bertha as a means. I know it sounds terrible, but obviously it was coal originally. So what would happen, there was a light that was like at the top of this stack. And from Wood Street, which is the street kind of, you can,
where Domino's is on that corner.
Yeah. So there are 3 houses that all look very similar that back up to the greenhouse property. And that's where Grandma and our great-grandparents lived. And they would have the boys watch for the light. And when the light turned on Big Bertha's stack, then they'd send the boys over to shovel coal into the coal chutes that were in the floor of what is now our delivery bay, but in the floor of the office. And to feed Bertha.
So the light meant that it needed more coal?
Yeah. Yes. And so that would be like a midnight, 2 a.m.
Oh, geez.
Because so Bertha would heat water that would go through all of the soil beds because everything used to be, we now grow on top of tables, but everything used to be directly sowed into the ground. So the cast iron pipes would run through the soil, keep the soil warm.
Everything was up.
Oh, okay. Well,
we grew, you're right.
Yes.
You are right. We grew on the benches. So this is before NAFTA.
Soil benches. Yeah.
I'm confused.
Sorry. It's a greenhouse talk. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it would heat the greenhouse, keep the soil warm, and keep the benches warm so that everything would grow.
It's
but everything would be
heat.
Yes.
Okay.
There were these really cool pictures of our great-grandfather, and he is just standing in the greenhouses, and there are snapdragons like up to his ears, that everything would just, now we ship a lot of our flowers in, but everything used to be grown right here.
We would lose each other as kids in the greenhouses. And so we would always play hide and seek. So there's 7 years between us. And so we joke a lot that we had a very different life experience because Aaron and I are 2 years apart. And then you and Robin, how close are you? 4 years.
Who's Robin?
The third sister. The fourth. Well,
Robin almost was Robert.
Oh, right. Sorry. You
Sister,
have
three
four.
or four.
There's 4 of you.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I thought there was 3. My bad.
Yeah. 3 or 4.
I should have brought pictures. I should have brought pictures.
We kind of just jumped really fast into this podcast. So I'm
But I
sorry.
know, you're fine.
But this is, of course, before NAFTA. They grew every crop that we sold in the greenhouse. So all of the flowers were grown in the greenhouse that we used in the floristry business.
What's NAFTA?
North American Free Trade Agreement. So it made it less expensive for us to buy flowers and import them than the cost of growing them. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
I mean, yeah.
So we could import flowers for pennies compared to the cost that it took to produce that crop.
That's crazy. So it costs less to purchase it from really far away and have it transported to your place than just to grow a seed in your place.
You, Dustin, are going to get me on a hobby horse right now.
Great.
So, yes. And what's crazy is that it's a non-food crop. So it doesn't fall under the same regulations as like the FDA. Even though we're importing it, we're bringing those flowers into our kitchens and washing them, cleaning them. You know, we're working with them every day. They are not held to the same environmental regulations and standards that would be in place if it was rice or if it was beans or anything else that we would be actually consuming as people.
Yeah, but I think it's like with any other consumable. Like, you know, we import bananas or we import tomatoes, and it's
climate
stuff.
thing too,
Yeah,
but
but it's things that we could theoretically grow here, but it's just cheaper to grow and bring it in.
So does that
For
mean
sure.
that it's like subsidized by the government, or how does that work?
no,
I have no idea any of this stuff.
No, it's
Okay.
just,
labor is
Yeah.
cheap. They can do it on a large scale. They have a better climate.
and they can
So
grow
we're-
year round.
We're
Where,
talking
like,
about outdoor, you know,
Mm.
where labor's a lot less expensive. You've got mountainous regions. Roses grow really well there, where in the U.S., whether you're at Swindler Sons Florists or whether you're anywhere in the U.S., growing in a greenhouse has its own challenges. And you've got light being a challenge and length of daylight and that kind of stuff.
I didn't know that. I thought a greenhouse just meant you could do whatever you want. So it's a greenhouse.
it's hard. You have to vent them because it can get too hot. They can get too cold. Things
Airflow.
grow. Yeah, you have to everything. We have to have fans constantly going.
And daylight's a big thing.
Yeah, and things grow really well under glass. However, glass shatters. So we have like poly roofs on some of our greenhouses, but
Mm.
plants don't grow as well under poly as they do under glass, unfortunately.
I know. I love glass. This is the drawing that I did of the benches.
Yeah.
So
Filled
this
with
would be
soil.
flowers.
Yeah.
So you have a table with flowers on it.
And it's a bench probably about that deep.
Although,
Yeah,
so the
well,
table
yeah.
itself is like a foot thick.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
Yes,
gotcha.
Yeah. So
And then-
your soil depth. would
I'm
be-
trying to like describe what you're showing me so people who are listening to
Yes.
this like understand what's going on
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the benches are, just think about a raised bed.
Yeah.
Do you have raised
Yes.
beds?
Not personally, but I've seen them. Yeah.
Okay. So imagine that on a table. So that's essentially what the greenhouse was set up to do, which was state of the art in the 20s and 30s. I mean, even all the way even through the 70s, they were glass greenhouses. The Rao Brothers, which is a U.S. made greenhouse manufacturer out of Cincinnati, absolutely exquisite products, cypress wood, and all of the glass is I forget how they described it. It's not hand blown, but each pane is individually cut to fit that slot in the greenhouse structure. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. But over time, things fall apart. And when they don't get repaired, then they really fall apart. And so that's been one of the challenges for us.
Is there less companies that even maintain that now than too? Is that style still being used, the glass?
It is and it isn't. The Rao brothers, like she was just bringing up, they do refurbishing greenhouses and they do new construction on greenhouses.
Yeah. So they're doing glass for conservatory type projects.
So like colleges, universities.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're even a research institute or if you're part of an art district and you want to build like a giant conservatory, that is or a botanical garden, right? Then you would do glass because it would make sense and you probably have an endowment funding that. Glass for growing purposes, there are other materials that are theoretically better and less expensive as a growing material, but glass still looks pretty beautiful. It's hard to beat it.
So with this table, the heat was coming from the floor and
Yes.
radiating up into the table?
Exactly. So there were cast iron pipes. So under all of the benches is this network of cast iron pipes that goes between each row. And then just imagine like if you've ever had a house that had radiators, okay, same thing, same concept. So those were creating heat and moisture that was heating the soil to make it feel like Ecuador or make it feel like we were creating the climate to grow the crops that we needed for the floral business.
Do you do any of this today still? Or at least,
No.
Okay, none of this. Okay.
Because Bertha isn't used anymore. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, we still,
I don't know if you like reroute it or heated the place, but okay.
No. I mean, so Bertha was converted from coal to gas. I don't remember when. I mean, I guess people still use coal, but a long time ago, it was converted to gas, but it was still utilized as radiant heat where, it circulated hot water.
So you attach these pipes that are already there to the gas unit? And
That is a plumbing question. I have no idea how that happens.
I don't either.
Okay, okay.
There's
sorry.
somehow where the gas goes to the boiler.
I couldn't tell you either. But it's very similar to like almost like radiant heating, like if you had like a tile bathroom floor that had heated floor. It's the exact same.
My question was less technical, so I don't know any technical stuff either. I just didn't know if so is the heat still coming from the floor when you change to gas, I guess?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes?
I have no idea.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I think this is the gray area between coal and gas. I don't know if they
think so.
reconverted Bertha or if we just put gas heaters in. Currently, we have hanging gas heaters.
Okay.
That heat our
That's
greenhouse.
A good answer.
Yes. And the reason that we don't use,
we
just don't grow year round anymore. Our growing season really just goes from March through June. And that's when we grow like our pansies,
We're not growing
petunias.
crops.
We're not growing our cut flowers.
Right.
We would like to get into that. And that's kind of where we've been purchasing from Nellie or That Girl's Flowers, because we do want to source a lot more of our flowers locally.
Our goal would be to source as much as possible locally. And locally meaning within this community.
Yeah. So I have that little market up front in our business. And my goal too is to source as much local stuff as possible. But what I found in my little tiny experience, nothing like yours, is that you want to do local stuff, but they're not as like consistent. So your customers get kind of ticked off, and it's just like, well, that's just what happens when you want to go local. It's not as reliable as a big company, Is that a similar challenge, like finding someone that you can be consistent?
From a crop standpoint, because I think there are two different things. From a crop standpoint, Nellie at That Girl's Flowers has the same challenges that anybody does that's a flower farmer in this area, right? Like she's dealing with the same climate. She grows outside. She doesn't have any greenhouses. I mean, I guess she does. She does, but not where she's heating them necessarily.
That's with that guy's farm right now?
Yes.
Okay, so same. Okay.
Yeah. That's her dad. So she has the same challenges. So we can source as much as we can through Nellie, but we're still going to have that space that you're talking about, that if we only bought local flowers, we'd be pruning everybody's branches in the middle of January. Like, sorry, it's not sustainable. And so we would still have to have another source, kind of what you're speaking to. But there's a ton of talent in Wilmington. And that's one thing that I'm just consistently just inspired by, because a lot of the things that we've done at the greenhouses I think that I'm most proud of is bringing in other vendors that are local artisans, that are glass makers, that are artists who make cards, pottery, that are repurposing and recycling materials and then making cards out of them, candles, lavender. We have the local lavender farm, all of her products that we stock, a honey product that's fantastic. So trying to, for lack of a better description, be the Etsy of Wilmington and to really curate, like Rachel sells bracelets that she makes. And those sell really well. Molly Boatman has cards and canvases of pictures and things that photos she's taken.
Well, and I think our main goal too is to support the community by bringing and keep money in the community. So people can come and buy gifts for, their friends and family, but the money stays here locally. It's not off of Amazon.
It'd be very easy for us to go to Atlanta or to New York or to one of the markets, one of the wholesale markets, and place big orders and have everything made in another country and have it shipped in and have everything look the same. And that it doesn't feel authentic, I think, to what we want to create and cultivate. And that this just rising tides lifts all boats kind of thing,
Yeah.
whatever the saying.
You are like the Etsy of Wilmington, to give an analogy, because it is very nice inside your shop and your store.
Well, and the other benefit is that we don't have to have that big capital outlay for gift material or for small gift items, because people can come, and if you're a vendor with us, you can bring your products in and sell them. And then when they sell, you get a check. And so it's like having your own little shop.
So it's all on consignment then.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I do have some questions that I want to get through.
Yes.
So there's 4 of you, siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of talk about your history in Wilmington? Like, what was your childhood like? I assume you grew up here because of the flower shop and things in your family.
Do you want to go first?
No, we all 4 were born here and raised here in Wilmington. We grew up on Spring Street, so just 1 block away from the greenhouse. So it was very convenient for all of us.
And the house our dad was raised in.
Yes.
Also, which is, he bought the house that he was raised in.
Didn't you say his parents lived on Wood Street though?
Mm-hmm. Grandparents. Our great-grandparents lived on Wood Street.
Oh, great-grandparents.
And then, so his parents would have been the ones on Spring.
So grew up on Spring Street.
Yeah. We all went to Wilmington High School. We had your basic small town childhood, I would say.
Oh, we got away with murder.
Oh my gosh.
We got away with murder.
We've changed to a murder podcast now.
No, it was just, so being the oldest and growing up down at the greenhouse, the majority of my childhood existed at the greenhouse. So I would get off of the bus, and the bus stop was right up the street on Wood Street. And I would walk down to the greenhouse from the time that I was in 3rd grade, so like 9 years old. And I would weigh seed with my grandpa, Bob, in the garden center. And they would pay me in a Pepsi. I got to have a Pepsi. And that I spent more time, I think, one-on-one with my grandparents. And of course, my dad was there, but specifically with my grandmother, with Grandma Pet, than I did with my own mom, because it was a sustained time after school from, 3 o'clock until 6 every day. And then Saturdays, I would work Saturdays. This is like child labor law, gray area. But I would, especially during Christmas, Valentine's Day, prom, Grandma would send me home with a trash bag full of bolts of ribbon and wire, floral wire. And I would bring the trash bag back the next day full of bows.
We came from a long line of work ethic. And you take your work home with you, you bring it back, you live, breathe, everything.
There's one way to do things, and that's the right way. And that's Grandpa's way.
I was going to ask whose way is that?
Yeah, that's Grandpa's way. Even, and this sounds silly, but it isn't. And I have come to appreciate it, as a mom, as an adult, as being in business, is that he taught me how to staple seed bags. And if they weren't stapled, if the staple wasn't parallel, he'd take it off. Do it again, because that detail mattered. And that, I think, is what we are hoping to bring to the business, is just, it's the little things. If you do the next right thing, you'll be fine. And I don't know, more about our childhood. Like, I worked at the greenhouse all the way from the time that I was 9 through college. I would come home for holidays and stuff and work Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. Mother's Day was always a big one. Valentine's Day. I worked Valentine's Day with 102 fever. And Grandma would just don't talk to anybody. Just don't talk to anybody. I need you to make bows, And so I'm like a bow wizard. Can make them in my sleep. But, sometimes child labor works out.
Yeah. Caitlin, what was your experience like?
I was about to say, so I didn't really work at the greenhouse very much growing up. I would volunteer occasionally and help out, like at the big holidays or at open house.
Yes.
I think by the time, and again, we had very different childhoods with the same set of parents.
We're 7 years apart.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after going through you, Aaron, and Robin, I don't think my labor was asked for at the greenhouse. Specifically after my sister Robin, bless her heart.
She refused to work for Dad.
She refused to work. So I think he was just, he called it quits.
Did they clash too much, or?
I don't know that it was even a clash.
I
Robin's
think they are
like,
the same
no.
person. And I think sometimes that can kind of be, or same person.
I don't know if I'm going to put that on Robin. I would
you
say it's a heavy burden. Robin,
different opinions on how things should be done or why things should be done.
We should not beat Robin while she's not.
I'm not beating her. Just different opinions of how things should be done.
Robin sold rocks at Kings Island.
Robin sold rocks at Kings Island.
She did.
The leading
What
quote.
does that mean?
She sold rocks in the rock store at Kings Island at the gem store.
That was the job that she
I feel like you guys were like, I don't want to trash on Robin, but she sold rocks at Kings Island. If that tells you anything about Robin.
That's very diplomatic.
That's
say
a
they
fact.
had different opinions.
That's a fact.
Oh
It is
my
a fact.
God.
And
It's because
she got a job at Kings Island.
It was the only air conditioned building at
I
Kings
know.
Island at the time, and that's why she
I went to
chose
Kings
work
Island.
there.
Yeah, good time.
Listen,
Did you sell rocks?
I
at
did
the
not
rock
sell
store?
rocks. Dustin dusted at night.
Dustin
Anyways.
sorry.
So wait, did your dad and mom work at the shop?
our
Or
mom-
just your grandparents, and did you skip a generation? Or-
no, our dad was the next owner in
Okay.
that line. Our mother, she taught at Holmes Elementary for like 20 plus years.
Yeah.
She was an autism resource specialist, and she went to Hopewell. So we have a deep, deep embedded love of teachers and education.
Yeah.
And
Grandma Pat was president of the school board forever.
so great grandma used to teach home ec at the high school. So we come from a long line of
Mm.
teachers or people who are really into education. And so Nana was a second grade teacher at Holmes growing up.
So kind of going back to the family lineage
Yeah.
with regard to Swindlers. So our great grandpa, Irvin, and his wife, they had 3 children. They had Bob, Dick, and Evelyn. And so Grandpa Bob and Uncle Dick took it over. Okay. So Irvin to Bob and Dick, and then Bob and Dick to our dad, David, and then our dad to his brothers, Jerry and Phil, and then Jerry and Phil to Caitlin and I. So we're 4th generation.
I
Does that
might
make
need to see
sense?
a picture of that at some point.
Yeah.
I know. I should have brought,
Your family.
like
We'll draw family
materials.
Yeah.
I should have brought materials, but just a love of flowers. I think one of the interesting things is, I think it's interesting. It was Moores and Swindler, greenhouse. And then when Uncle Dick and Grandpa Bob were fighting in World War II, our great grandfather, Irvin, decided to change the name to Swindler and Sons because he wanted them to have something to fight for and to come back to. And so he had the name changed with the hopes that they would survive World War II. And of course they did, thankfully, and came back. And all they wanted to do was grow flowers. They had seen all the horrors of war and just awful and never talked about it, but came back and just wanted to grow flowers and raise a family and, be part of the community.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Pretty deep.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's, Grandpa Bob, I would ask him because, of course, when I was a kid, it was, ask your grandparent who fought in the war, because everybody's grandparent fought in the war, about their experience. And so I remember asking him, Grandpa, did you ever kill anybody? He said, Kristin, I don't know. I sure hope not. And that was as far and then he would shut it down. But when he was having a quadruple heart bypass at Riverside, it was my senior year in high school. When he was coming out of anesthesia, he thought the Nazis were torturing him.
Oh, wow.
He was in post-op and he
Yeah.
thought that he was being tortured by the Nazis because of all the lights but kind of bringing it to his experience, he had his paperwork lost during World War II. So at the end of the war, he's not home. His brother's home. All these other boys are coming home. He's still in Germany. He's still deployed. And so his mom reaches out to her brother to figure out, what's going on. My other son's not home yet. And they lost his paperwork. And so they transferred him to Nuremberg. So he was one of the guards that was at the Nuremberg trials. And he, after kind of having this experience, thinking that he was being experimented on, I remember him saying, I thought they were monsters. But the worst part was they were just men. And
Wait, is this about his real experience or about the doctor?
yeah,
His real experience.
He obviously was not tortured, but he was a guard
And
that
you
was
got to listen
stationed.
to the testimony.
Because
of the
they lost
Nuremberg
his
trials.
paperwork, they had to find something for him to do in Germany. And they were like, well, okay, we're going to have you transferred. And it's all convoluted because his mom, so our grandmother Nellie, her brother was a full bird colonel. And so Grandpa's uncle had him transferred.
It's
Is that-
wild. It's wild. And even Uncle Dick
He was in the 101st.
so the Band of Brothers that you see on HBO, like that's where Uncle Dick was. He was like one of the first people to storm the Eagle's Nest. I mean, it's not to be. I mean, World War II was obviously horrific, but I do have a sense of pride that, our family, that they fought for the country. I mean, we come from a very long line. Like we're daughters of the American Revolution. Like we go all the way back. And I think every single generation of our family, we've had someone in the military.
My husband was in the military. But yeah, there's a lot of pride. I mean, all of the great
Just pride
qualities.
in standing up for,
Because Grandpa was in college and then he enlisted. So he was at Ohio State in horticulture school. And then he enlisted. But, Grandpa was just loyal, incredibly loyal. Yeah. Loved Ohio State.
Oh, ridiculously so. They were all in the marching band.
Okay.
So Dick, Bob,
For 40
our
years.
dad, and then cousin Jimmy were all in the Ohio State marching band. So we
Jerry?
grew up, talking about childhood, we grew up every Saturday was spent in the horseshoe watching games because we had, between our family, 8 tickets to every single Ohio State home game.
Yeah.
So I grew up not realizing how big of a deal that was. It was just like the Saturday thing we did.
It's like, oh, do you want to
We
go?
gotta
Freedom?
go. All right, I guess
Freeze.
it's a Michigan game. I guess we'll go.
Did you go for the
Grandpa-
game or for the marching band? Which one was like your family?
We would go for the marching. I mean,
Okay.
we would watch the game,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we
Yeah.
would go for the marching band. We'd go watch the stall session
We
before
would
we'd watch the
be
band
there.
play. We'd watch the march in.
Uncle Dick
That was the
and
main.
Grandpa. I remember walking into St. John's when the lights were still off so that we could get seats, the seats that they wanted to have. And Aunt Shirley would bring green grapes. I don't know why I remember that. And we would sit there and eat grapes and wait for them to turn the lights on. And then the band would come in and it was just magic. It was magic. And that's why the ceiling, the beams of the greenhouse are painted scarlet. It's very much a tribute to Ohio State, as much as I would love to paint them. It's like, I can't do that
Yeah.
to Grandpa. But I mean, every car that he and Grandma ever owned was some version of scarlet and gray. And the tie, he has this old tie that we didn't even realize how old it actually was. Scarlet and gray for his wedding. Scarlet and gray tie. Okay. When our aunt hosted a fundraiser for George W. Bush, I don't know if it was George W. or H.W., regardless, in Columbus, they had their picture taken with George and Barbara. So Grandma and Grandpa had their picture taken with George and Barbara Bush.
Mm.
He's wearing the same tie. It's the same scarlet and gray tie. And Aunt Marcy, and she asked, she's like, Daddy, you're wearing the same tie. He was like, that's a good looking tie. And because that is what he felt was like the best tie that he had, was an Ohio State tie. And I mean, everything was go Bucks. And, he didn't curse. He had a Tibittle hat, but he would never tell me what it stood for. Like, but what does that mean?
It stands for the best damn band in the land.
Oh,
It's like an Ohio State
Yeah.
slogan.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you went to Ohio State. What did you go to Ohio State for?
I started out pre-med, and then I ended up transferring after a year and graduated from Wright State with English and feminist theory.
English and feminist theory.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, completely 180.
What was your plan with that?
I was going to get my PhD,
And then what?
teach.
Interesting.
But it's funny because as much as I love literature, I mean, I think now I probably have 2,000 books on Audible, which is embarrassing. I love literature. I love discussing it and all of that. Every single opportunity where there was a chance to do flowers for somebody's wedding, or flowers for a gala, or flowers for a benefit, or flowers for somebody who's sick, I would make them because I knew how to. And this was me just, doing flowers out of my kitchen. And I felt myself always being pulled back into it. And then Caitlin and I had talked about it for years. I mean, we met with a business attorney, probably 14 years ago. Yeah. When we first started talking to Jerry and Bill about buying the business.
Those are your uncles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And of course, attorneys are going to tell you like all the reasons why you shouldn't. And I live in Kettering. So, having a 47-minute drive, it's not ideal. But I also looked at buying 2 florists in Dayton. And I had a contract signed with one florist to purchase. And then at the last minute, I couldn't do it. It felt wrong.
This was before we
bought the
Mhm.
greenhouse.
Yeah.
It felt wrong. I mean, this is probably 5 years ago. Just trying to think, okay, what's right for my family? This way I won't have to drive. I can still be a florist and do what I love. But every single time, it felt, I can't even describe it other than it just felt wrong. And so I backed out of that thinking like it's never going to be that location, that place, my family's business, doing what I love. And so all those things coming together, it was kind of awesome this past year.
So this is kind of hard with 2 guests because I want to know how you met your husband. What's your family like? And then what was your career like before this? So can you kind of run through those things? And then Kate, I'll give you a fair chance to catch us up to speed up who you are. I know we'll get into the joint business venture with you guys.
Yes.
Okay. So Kristin,
Yes.
your
Dustin.
husband, how did you meet?
We met, so I sold medical device, so orthopedic implants, and he walked up to me in Dorothy Lane Market and said, I know you. And I said, no, you don't.
Like, nice try, buddy.
Yeah. No. He's like, no, I know you. And I'm like, no, you don't. But he kept standing there and I go, okay, where do you know me from? And he was like, well, from the hospital. I didn't know who he was. I had no clue at all. I was buying cookies for a dance festival that I was going to and as a picnic. So he sees me in the OR weeks later. He's like, hey, I told you, I know you. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so anyway, fast forward, we started dating and got married. So.
And you said you got kids, right?
Uh-huh. So we have 4 children. So we have Grace, who's a chemist in St. Louis, Jack, who is waiting on all this med school application stuff to be finalized. And then we have Kate, who's a sophomore. She'll be a sophomore in college. She last year went to American University of Paris. Visa stuff got all screwed up. So she's helping right now down at the greenhouse. And then Luke is our baby, and he is turning 16 in a couple weeks. So he goes to Alter High School, and he's a really good golfer. So did I answer your question?
I think so. Yeah, just about how you.
And
met your husband
I
and
did
family.
sales before that. So
Okay.
so I did med device and orthopedic implant sales for like 15 years.
Oh wow.
So completely different.
An English and feminist theory.
With an English degree,
I know.
right? With an English degree.
Yeah.
That's
So you were good at sales.
well. Guess we'll see.
It sounds like that's a good skill to have. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was very successful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was very successful.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, Caitlin, tell us about your story.
So
I'm sorry. So Wright State. What did you go to school for?
Yeah, so I went to Wright State for psychology. After Wright State, I very luckily graduated right in the middle of the 2008 recession where everyone was getting laid off, which was lovely. But then I was a autism play partner. And so I would do cognitive and behavioral play-based therapy in home with autistic toddlers under the age of 3. So I would contract out through Clinton County DD and help me grow. And so I did that for a number of years. I do a ton of volunteering. I used to run the Say Soccer program out in Harveysburg. I ran Clinton County swim team for about 6 or 7 years. I'm still involved in that. My kids still swim. Just a lot of volunteering and being a mom. I have 4 kids as well. My husband and I met when I was still in high school. He was a line cook at Max and Irma's, and I was a hostess. And so we met at work. He now is an AI architect out of RNL. And so he's a
AI architect?
AI architect.
Okay.
So he does like COTS team engineering and like TIBCO processes and other things like that.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
mom mad over here.
brilliant IT guy. So
Okay.
he works at RNL, but luckily he works from home, which is lovely. We have 4 kids. Our oldest, Ella, is 21. She is finishing up her senior year at OU, and then she'll start at UC in May for her doctorate in occupational therapy. Our son, Danny, is a senior this year. He just got into Harvard, so we're really excited for him.
Wow.
I know,
Big
right?
deal.
Like I was just
It's a
like,
big deal.
we're
Yeah.
so proud of Danny. He's just the best.
He's brilliant.
I mean, all our kids are awesome.
Yeah.
We brag on all of our
Danny's
nieces, nephews,
he's
and
pretty
kids.
awesome.
He's really big into like engineering.
He wants to study astrophysics.
Yes, cosmology and astrophysics.
What?
So that's kind of his thing.
Cosmology, I was like, I'm a Pisces.
Oh my God.
You know?
That sounds, yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
when I say
think,
most people think cosmology, they think I'm talking about hair and makeup.
oh yeah,
So they instantly go,
Cosmetology.
yes, because I'll say
Really
astrophysics, cosmology. And I had one
Yeah,
lady go,
one
those
letter.
are very different. Actually, they're pretty similar.
yeah.
So he will be off in Boston in the fall. And then my husband and I are kind of crazy and we started over again. So we have our daughter, Julia, is 8. And she is a 2nd grader at Clinton Massey. And then our son, Henry, is 6. And so he's a kindergartner
Oh, wow.
over at Clinton Massey. And so I'm real busy with 2 littles. They're either in soccer or right now we're in basketball. So we're either soccer, basketball, or swim team year round. So that
Yikes.
keeps me.
Her kids are also
We're
really
pretty
good
busy.
athletes.
Yeah, so we live locally. We live in Blanchester. If you threw a rock, you'd basically be in Clarksville. We're like right on that Blanchester-Clarksville line, but we live out kind of towards Cowan Lake area, so a lot less of a commute. About
They have
15 minutes.
chickens. Oh
I
my
have
gosh.
chickens.
They have gorgeous chickens. Do you have
Time.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't want to shame your chickens.
Yeah.
No. I don't want to be a chicken shamer.
Are they like fluffy and really ornate or something?
So I feel like chickens are like Pokemon, and
They
I've started
are.
collecting.
Once you get one, you're like, dang, I gotta get all of them now.
Well, and then I found out that they
My
came in
gosh.
different colors.
Yeah.
They lay different color eggs. It's this whole thing. So I have 29, but I probably
I'm not
have
allowed to have chickens.
16 different breeds. So I've collected so I've like the fancy splash Morans that look like a watercolor painting. They have the little foot feathers. And
So pretty.
we just got some zombie chickens, mosaic chickens. They have a full black face, but then they have blue ears, and then they have just really pretty feathers. we don't need to talk about chickens. I could talk
Could be a
about
chicken
chickens for
podcast.
hours. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Could be a chicken podcast.
This was my COVID deep dive is we build a coop and
Oh,
we
nice.
got chickens and
Not just a coop. It's like a
it's a
Martha Stewart
palace.
coop.
It's
It's a beautiful chicken coop.
we call it the chicken palace, but
Have you had any
They're queens.
incidents with predators?
very much so.
Oh,
So-
very much.
So our
chicken trauma.
Yeah.
It is. So we do live in the middle of the woods, and our
Yeah.
property kind of backs up towards Cowan Lake. So it's not it is wildlife. So chicken math is hard. So we started with 10, and then, we would lose a couple, and then we'd get 10 more, and then we lose a couple. And so now that's how we've arrived at 29. So we have a fox will occasionally take some or a raccoon, but
She does chicken rehab in her basement
I do. It's this.
with a kiddie pool.
Because
And,
if your chicken gets
yeah.
injured, they have to go into a chicken hospital. It's this whole,
I've been there, yeah.
it's a whole thing. We
You've
did
rehab chickens.
I mean, you have to isolate them. the other
Yes,
ones.
you have to isolate
Otherwise,
them.
they'll attack and kill them because they're
They're cannibals.
yeah.
They
are
really will.
mean.
They are
If you're a
cannibals.
weak link, you need to die. It's like, no.
No, it truly is. I mean,
You're a good person.
listen. I mean, we even did, my husband and I, we had a chicken with bumblefoot. Have you had that yet?
Yeah, mine didn't end well.
Oh, no.
I'm not a good doctor. I think I made it worse.
Oh, what did you do for it?
You have to,
I don't want to talk about it.
it's a scalpel. This is the whole thing I showed
Yeah.
you. I showed you photos. So it was hilarious
I
because
probably blocked it from my.
I'm holding the chicken. My husband is the one with the scalpel. And then I have the 8 and the 6-year-old. One's holding the flashlight, and Julia is
My gosh.
I mean, it was this whole,
Did
they
it
were so into it.
did it heal?
Yeah.
Okay,
she's
good.
she's still alive.
That's what I'm
She's still
telling you.
kicking.
It's like an urgent care.
Listen, Google is an amazing tool. And I have learned so much.
Yeah.
I swear I ask Google every day. I'm like, Google, can chickens eat this? Google, can chickens eat that?
They love grapes.
They
What's
do
that
love
thing called
grapes.
when people are hypochondriacs? But
Yes, I am
for
a
like
chicken
Yeah.
hypochondriac because I don't want to kill my chicken.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So
Continue.
your hobby is chickens. Any other
I do.
hobbies?
Other than chickens, I'm an avid baker. I love baking. I love making cakes.
Ridiculously good.
My eldest daughter, when she was about 3, we discovered she had severe, deadly peanut tree nut allergy. So it forced me to be a home baker. And so I love making super elaborate cakes. Like my son, who just turned 6, his cake was like a sinking Titanic. And Julia's cake was like mermaids and, Nightmare Before Christmas. I love doing, I don't know, I've always been really artistic
It's
and crafty. So I've always worked with clay or painting or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I've always kind of have that kind of hobby. We do a lot of crafty.
So what are some of your hobbies outside of business?
before this.
when you
Yes,
got a life and you have
before this,
hobbies.
yeah.
I know exactly. Back in the before times.
Yeah.
Gardening. So this is just, I read somewhere that if you pay attention to where your mind wanders when you're not doing anything or what you think about, that will show you pretty clearly what your passion is. And it's gardening. I, before this, would go to every garden center within probably 2 hours. If I was traveling, if I was out the country, I would go find the most beautiful garden center, the most beautiful florist, wherever I was in whatever city. And I would try and talk to the owner if I could speak the language and just see how they were displaying things. What were they growing? What were their challenges? What did they see for trends? Just to kind of be immersed in that environment and see how other people are doing it. So gardening and then flowers. I mean, growing flowers. She can grow vegetables. I cannot. I have
do
deer.
like
I have a lot
as
of
well.
deer that like to eat things, but I can grow really great flowers.
You said you visited these places when you were traveling too?
Mhm.
Like overseas or?
Mhm. Yeah.
Is there any ones that stand out or?
Probably my favorite florist is in Paris, and it is at the corner of Rue Marseille. And it is just, and I love them. I mean, the architecture is hard to beat, but they're on this boulevard, and they have the most elaborate outside decorations, just giant flowers or whatever the season is, they go all out. So I think from a visual interest standpoint, and just they're one of the oldest florists in Paris as well. So I love it.
When I remodeled the front of this building, I wanted to add like a bunch of flowers on the outside because I was looking on Pinterest for like the coolest things. And there's like a flower box we have open the top right now. It's all fake stuff because I don't know like what to put out there.
Oh, we've
but at
got
some
you.
point, we need to connect because
We've
I want
got
something
you.
beautiful and real out there.
Yeah, we've got you. There's so many great options. And that's the cool thing with plant breeding also is that there's so many great options that are more disease resistant, that are more water and heat tolerant, that will do well.
Cool. Connect about that.
Okay.
Do you recommend Paris? I heard mixed things about it.
Yes. I mean, obviously, it's beautiful. I can't even think of a negative thing about Paris. I mean, yes, there are a lot of people, but that's also a big city. I felt safer from a safety standpoint being in a big city in Paris than I've ever felt in New York, or that I ever felt in LA or in a big city.
My last question about you guys is if you could share a defining moment of your life that's helped make you who you are or shape your values and personality.
Oh, gosh.
We should have read those questions.
I know.
This doesn't have to be so deep. It doesn't have to be the most traumatic thing in your life. It's just something defining moment of your life that just helped, shape you who you are.
Jesus, Dustin.
I mean,
a defining moment
so sorry.
in your life.
It's usually not this intense question.
I'm going to go with a very diplomatic approach on this. I very much love the Mr. Rogers view on this. And I am thankful for everything that's happened in my life, the good and the bad, because it's all equally shaped me, right? So like every good experience I've had and every negative experience, like negative people I've interacted with has shaped me into who I don't want to be, and then the positive people in my life I want to emulate them and so I guess it's in a very diplomatic way. My entire life path has kind of shaped me into this. And I don't think that there's one defining moment. And, just like with anyone's life, I've had my ups and downs and struggles. And I just think I'm thankful for it all. I really feel like it's, a combination of everything that shaped me into who I am and where I'm at.
Yeah.
A defining moment in my life. I don't know that I can think of one specifically. I can tell you lots of funny stories, but they all kind of tie back to having the very strong sense of community and safety, growing up in a small town, living at the greenhouse essentially after school, growing up with grandparents who were devoted to a business that they loved and a passion that was just all-encompassing, and just being raised in that environment has shaped very much the person that I am. And it served me well. So doing med device, and it affected how I ran that business. You always tell the truth. You do the hard right, not the easy wrong. You do it right. You're accountable. If you screw something up, you need to own it. It's having, and as a kid, right, you don't appreciate it. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I'm never doing this. I would never be a florist. But then you get away from it. And you find that for me, it's the only thing that I would think about. I'd be in surgeries working, or I'd be in a doctor's lounge getting ready for the next case. And I'd be flipping through books of shrubs, of what I would be designing new garden beds and putting together different varieties and figuring out how to hybridize dahlias. And so that's where I think my passion has always been.
It's cool because you have a business mind and then you have this like very creative florist mind. Do you ever feel like
you might have ADD?
No, I wasn't going to say that. I guess, do you feel like it's a challenge to keep the business sustainable and profitable and not get too into the weeds of like your joy of creativity? You're looking at each other.
Oh, I know.
I feel like I echo.
I would concur. No, it is. It's a balance,
We're such good partners.
I think we balance each other really well.
So which one is the more like business?
I'm more pragmatic. I'm more...
Okay.
She's rational.
I look at numbers.
That's weird because you're the youngest child. I feel like the oldest child would be more hardcore, like this way.
I believe anything's possible.
So there's an interesting...
And I'm very resourceful.
Very risk.
Yeah. I'm not risk averse.
Right.
Because I know anything's possible. Anything's possible. And I know that I also believe in any situation, I know somebody who can help me with this, who can figure this out. And that goes back to growing up in a small town with a safe community, with family that instilled that in me. that we could always figure it out. Whatever the problem is or whatever the challenge is, we could always figure it out. Caitlin is so brilliant in how she manages the business side. And that's why
Well,
couldn't
and
do it.
the
couldn't do it
fun
without
thing with birth order is, I think, is it 3 or 4 years? It technically resets. And so I do have 4 years between
Oh, shit.
Robin and
I
I.
didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And so,
Are you trying to be a first?
I'm kind of trying to be first. I'm kind of competing with stuff. Now Robin is truly a middle child. Bless her heart.
Robin is a middle child. Not even. She
You're
lives in
just-
St. Louis.
You're just
She
I
lives
love
in St.
trash
Louis.
on Robin's
Robin
podcast.
Poor
I
Robin.
love her to
Totally.
pieces.
We used to hide one shoe of hers. Not we.
Oh, I was going
I-
to say we is the wrong.
She would wear the most awful shoes in high school. And so I would be embarrassed by them. And I would hide one of them. Me?
Gosh.
That's
So
so
mean. I
That's
would.
mean.
She'd be like, is
Did not
anybody see my
participate.
other boot? I'm like, no.
Oh my God.
It's so bad. Listen, growing up with
It's so bad.
being the youngest of 4 girls, it is survival of the fittest. I mean, because 4 girls, you're fighting over hairbrushes, makeup, shampoo, clothes, you name it.
And not physical fights. Just
Yeah.
like, oh, you're wearing that?
Just
Which is worse.
emotional,
Oh,
internal
emotional.
tearing
Oh,
down.
yes,
It's not
literally.
physical. It's just
It's just
total
emotional.
decimation.
It's
Yeah.
like
Exactly. We're destroying your sense of self.
Yeah.
But we're all like, truly, the 4 of us are all really, really close today.
Mhm.
Like I mean, my gosh, we all went to Maine and spent a week on an island together this last summer. Like all the cousins are really close.
Yeah.
Even all the husbands are close. It's nice.
And our mom, I don't think we've talked enough about our mom and her influence and presence. So she lives on Lincoln Street, and she was a teacher for 30 odd years in Wilmington City Schools. But she will come down and help plant seedlings and transplant plugs. And she'll go get hot and cold cups at Sabin's for us when we're out of hot and cold cups. She'll go get us twin snakes when we're doing arrangements at 10 o'clock at
I
night.
don't know if you know what twin steaks are.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
They are like, they say
Half-
gummy worms, but they're connected
They're twins.
and they kind of fuel our entire operation. It is just
One half
pure
is sweet.
sugar.
One half is sour.
Where do you get them at?
Oh,
Exactly.
let me tell you.
CVS.
CVS,
CVS.
Kroger,
The CVS rating.
Okay.
everywhere.
They have the giant bags. But if
I-
they're gone in the future, I'm going to come back.
I tell you what.
Oh
we
my-
were joking
You're telling on the
yesterday.
podcast. It could be anybody
know,
now at this
I know.
point. It's not just me.
Sorry.
We were joking that there's
No
got to be
threats.
this huge sales spike in twin snakes in Wilmington, Ohio. That
We
someone's looking
we
at
can't
a
talk about
giraffe
the-
going
don't
like,
talk about
what
the twin
is
snakes.
happening?
No, they're delicious.
Oh my gosh.
No,
They're
we
delicious.
unfortunately
Bananas
we are fueled
Mm.
by Sour Patch Kids and twin snakes and Diet Coke for you,
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero.
The French call it Coca Light. But Mom is fantastic.
She's
And
been a great support.
yeah. And also being a small town, she knows everybody. And so if I'm like, Mom, we have this early funeral delivery at such and such church. So let me call so-and-so. And I know Sharon has a key and we can ask for help that way. Or we missed this delivery. It's to so-and-so. Let me call them. Let me see if they're home now. And just the beauty of a small town and a community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like when our gas line went out. That's a
Yeah.
great example of adversity and just craziness. So the business being as old as it is, over 100 years, we ended up needing to replace a gas line from the street. So we we took over in October 2024, like 2 days before Thanksgiving, 3 days.
mm-hmm.
The Monday before Thanksgiving, we had a greenhouse full of poinsettias. And the gas company comes in and says, we're shutting off your gas. You have a gas leak inside. We can't find it, but you're going to have to get it fixed before we turn it back on. That's our heat to the entire building, to the sales floor, to the office, to the greenhouses. It's everything. And so this was one of those, like, who do we know? How do we fix this? And so Julie Bollinger, who still works at the greenhouse, still comes in, but also does plumbing with her dad. And she's an artist and she has jewelry at the greenhouse. But her dad is a plumber. And so he and Jim Schutte
Mhm.
walked in the door that Monday evening. And I think both of us just like cried.
Yeah.
And they showed up
Well,
because
because every person we called, it was give us a week, give us 10 days, give us, like
give us $10,000.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm not
seriously,
kidding. Like
yeah.
the retainer for,
Mm.
because it's such a heavy,
Oh, sure.
it's such an old building and the pipes are so big that only certain plumbers can handle it.
Yes.
And so it was like this plumber that I found out of Indiana through a business contact of one of my friends could come over, but I had to, it was like a $10,000 deposit and the estimate was like exponential. It was maybe like $80,000.
Well, can we just discuss, this is a sticky point for me. So the gas leak, the gas leak was actually outside and it was the gas company's fault. So we kept smelling just like a little hint of gas inside by the door.
And they knew they had to fix it.
And they knew they had a leak. They knew it was outside. They knew they had to fix it. So we called just to be extra safe. And then they walk around with this itty bitty tiny little ozone meter where they can just barely sense like the tiniest pinpoint leak. And that's what shut us down, is they found this tiny pinpoint leak in one of our pipes. And they're like, all right, the whole thing shut down. So basically, did we have a leak? Yes.
Are we still salty about it?
Yes. A little bit. Because if you walked into any building in any part of Wilmington with that little ozone meter, I guarantee you could find a leak in any one of anything that's... Yeah.
Did your friends fix it or did the
That's
company
what Julie's
find
did.
it?
Yeah, they did.
So Julie's dad, Frank, and Jim Shooty, two local guys, walked in. And I mean, Frank has done all of the plumbing for like the city of Wilmington. So he does like big, like he's digging up stuff at the Nike Center right now.
Or like
big,
all the whack
like,
and
yeah.
Big industrial and commercial projects.
Pulling or plumbing.
I think he's one of the only commercial plumbers.
Yeah. I mean, he's done all the stuff at Wilmington College. Just incredible wealth of knowledge. When he and Jim walked in, it was just like, you know, when your parents show up and you're like, okay, it's going to be okay.
Like, well, it felt like the adults
have shown up.
We're like, it's going to be okay. The adults are here.
So we had to run a new gas line from the street because it's €100+ gas line. And so with the technology that's today, to run a leak test would blow micro holes in the pipes. And so they couldn't get a solid test. And so it meant that we had to go away from the boiler that we had remaining. So baby Bertha. So we had big Bertha and the baby Bertha. We had to go, you know, that one died too. We had to go around it and run a new gas line.
Does your new system have a name?
Oh, we should give it a name.
We should.
Because we just got it.
Big money.
Yeah.
Big money. Is what
yeah, big money.
That's a good name. That's going to stick now. Big
it's not
money.
50 cents.
It's not 50 cents.
It's big money. Big money. But so Frank and Jim ran a gas line all the way from the street all the way back to where we had the heating tanks for the hot water for watering plants in the greenhouses. So through all of that old structure, you know, all the old buildings.
And I've learned way more about gas code and lines and pipe diameter. Oh, but like
she's a nerd.
Against my will. I've learned way too much again, you know.
Also, let's just contrast our gifts. I didn't know that heat came from gas. That's embarrassing to admit.
Oh my! Those that edits out the podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
So I looked at it.
What do you think the gas was for? Like,
listen, sweet baby angel.
I don't know.
So we have very different. I don't know. So like my husband and I. Every house we've ever had, we've had to fix it up ourselves. Like we've done the construction. So like, I know like a lot of like the tools or like, you know, he does plumbing and electric. And so like, we know a lot of that stuff. And so it's so funny. I'll be talking to you and I'll be like, where does that come from? You know, it's just like, but you know what you know. And yeah. I've had to learn, you know, like I've had to.
She came down. She's like, they're setting up our gas. I'm like, okay.
I know. I'm like, this is a big deal.
I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, will the phones work?
I'm kind of like that too. When I was in high school, I had my dad's van I could use, and I filled it up with diesel fuel because I didn't know the difference.
Done that.
I didn't know the difference. I was like, Dad, the dumb thing wouldn't fit in the nozzle. I was like, what? I was this mad kid, and then it like messed up the engine. He's like, what did you do?
How did you get the gas in it?
I just stuck it in and just let it drip in. I filled the whole tank up with diesel fuel.
Okay.
Like, what a doofus.
You know what? I don't want to story tell you, but like that was a sign to me. It doesn't fit. That's so weird. Maybe it's wrong.
Okay, rub it in.
They're different sizes.
I feel better.
They're different sizes.
That I won't accidentally do it.
But because I've done it.
I think because it was green too. I'm like, well, green is fuel.
Green is good.
Yeah,
I'm environmentally friendly. Yeah. No.
That makes me feel way better because that's like one of my hidden fears when I go to fill up that I'm going to fill up with diesel on accident. Okay, good to know.
Anyways,
they've engineered it for you.
But
Well, kind of.
I own the houses across from Swindlers,
No way.
and I've smelled the gas. Not from you, but from my own property. It's like, there's something wrong with the gas here. It's
Yes. Does
Be
it
careful
still?
if you call them to come
I don't know, I
check
haven't been
it
in a
out.
while, but it's like, there's a problem with the gas in that area.
It is. If you see, like, I don't know.
I
And
know.
if you're walking by Swindlers, where our gas line's coming in, like, it has killed our juniper bush, where
Mm.
the gas was leaking there for a while.
I don't know if they ever replaced that meter or not, but
No, they did, because
they did replace the meter.
they picked the coldest day of the year to come turn our gas off again.
Right.
As we do.
So, but it was one of those that, it's like teams are cemented in adversity.
Yeah.
And it was everybody coming together, right? It was Julie calling her dad and our Uncle Jerry bringing in space heaters that he had, our mom bringing in space heaters, you guys bringing in space heaters, me buying space heaters. It's everybody coming together, learning way too much about what gas you can use in a greenhouse and what you can't.
Yes, plants only like propane, no other gas.
Interesting. It's good to
So
know.
they've only propane.
That you will kill them with kerosene.
Kerosene and gasoline are bad.
So, yeah. I mean, and everybody came together and we had a beautiful crop of poinsettias and
Yeah, they were stunning.
we were looking at temperatures every day. Paul set it up so that he could look from home.
Yeah, we had a security camera pointed
At
at the
the
thermometer in the greenhouse. So
Okay.
and I kid you not, I'd wake up at 2:00 in the morning and I would peek to make sure that we were
You know what
maintaining
this
temps.
just made me realize? We've come full circle because that's like Grandpa and Uncle Dick
I know.
looking to see the light on
Except
Big
we-
Bertha.
Oh,
Except
that
it's
is
on
a full
except it's on
circle.
my
That
cell
is full
phone.
circle.
Yeah.
It's
through a
full
video.
circle.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, we have guests now.
Nice. Can you tell me again what inspired your family to start Swindlers?
It's wanting to have control over his destiny is the inspiration. I mean, I think there's always a love of horticulture and plants and growing, but it was the opportunity to own a business where he would not be replaced.
How do you have the skills to do, what made him decide florist?
So I honestly think it was the business opportunity first, and then kind of like an apprenticeship. He was an apprentice under Mr. Moore or with Mr. Moore for a couple of years and then purchased the business.
So what did Mr. Moore's do before Moore's and
It was-
Swindlers?
It was exactly this. It was Moore's greenhouse.
Well, and I feel like
Oh, okay.
I think great grandpa too. There was, I think it's where Tammy's yoga studio is now. There used to be like a small florist shop that was ran out of there via like Jamestown or something, or not, maybe Xenia. That was like a little offshoot of Xenia. Yeah, there's a lot of
that's-
family
We need to
Swindler
do
lore.
family history.
So Mr. Moore's had this facility already up and running, and then your great-great-grandfather,
Hungry. Yes.
or your great-grandfather
Mhm.
became business partners with him.
Mhm.
And then it sounded like pretty soon your great-grandfather owned the whole thing. Did
Yes,
Mr.
yeah,
Moore's
purchased
pass
it.
away, or you purchased it from him?
Just purchased it.
Okay.
And I think Moore's was still in Blanchester because I think there is still Moore's in
Oh,
Blanchester.
I know. I don't know if
The
it's the
same-
same.
yeah.
Moore. I don't know if it's the same Moore, but that'd be kind of
I think
crazy if
so.
it not
Yeah.
for it to not be.
So did we touch on what was the tipping point of when you guys decided like we are going to own this building? Like, were your uncles ready to sell it? Or, like, what was the transition there?
So we'd been in discussions of buying the greenhouse. So when I stopped working and was a stay-at-home mom, Caitlin was a stay-at-home mom, we were always back and forth like, oh, I've got this, or, can you help me with this party? Can you help me with this event? And so we had always had the thought that we're going to take over the greenhouse one day, and what that would look like and how it would be amazing. So in those conversations 13 years ago, that was kind of, I think, the beginning of the dream to do it together. And as Jerry got older, he would say, well, the price got lower as he got older.
When they get higher for appreciation, or
Yeah, might be depreciation.
sure, okay,
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely depreciate.
tangent.
I think that he was ready to be done and to be retired. And, Jerry's a fantastic grower, but never really wanted to run a business, I don't think. And that it's stressful being a business owner. I mean, you know that, right? It can be stressful.
Yeah.
And when you don't have somebody that you're doing it with, I think that can be a challenge as well. And so Jerry was ready to retire, and I was dropping our daughter Kate off in Paris, and I was moving her in, and Caitlin and I were talking, and I was like, okay, when I get back, we're doing it. And so that was, I dropped her off at the beginning of September, and then I'd flown back out to visit her at the end of September, and that's when we were having the conversation. So I went out to spend a week with her. And then as soon as I landed, I mean, that like on that Monday, we were down at the greenhouse. And it was so, I don't know, fortuitous or just, it's funny how time and things line up because, so Brian's a physician at Soin. So he works for Kettering Medical Center.
Your husband. Okay.
He's a general surgeon. And he had been talking with Kettering about having an office in Wilmington for years, at least 8 years. We should put an office down there. I think it'd be great. He does a lot of hernia surgeries. We should have a presence down there. He gets a lot of referrals. Kettering should have a presence down there. 8 years since we had this conversation. And so I land and walk in the door and he goes, guess who I just got off the phone with? And I said, who? And he goes, Kettering. They're going to support us having a practice down in Wilmington. I was like, no way. I'm going to start working at the greenhouse tomorrow in Wilmington. Literally within 24 hours, it was just all the stars and sun and everything aligned where we were both going to be in the same place. So he came down for the ribbon cutting that Kettering did.
Oh, he did? Was he one speaking or no? He was just in the
I
audience?
don't think he spoke. And everybody was like, I know your wife. It was just like, yeah, okay. But I'm trying to think what else I could say about, he delivered flowers on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, both husbands
He canceled his cases and delivered flowers.
they were voluntold to come and deliver flowers for us.
Did they get you flowers?
No. I told Brian a long time ago, do not get me flowers. Do not. It's not going to be what I want.
Because you would just judge them? Yeah, you'd be like...
Oh, 1,000,000%.
I could see that. It's like when... Like, don't get me clothes because like I like a certain, you don't know what I like. Just give me an experience or something I can like eat and like it be done. But don't get me have to like lug around all the time.
Well, and now
And
it's
then you
hard.
feel obligated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
I can
it's hard
see-
too
yeah.
because it's like, where are you going to get the flowers? Because you can't get them from me because I'll know, and you can't get them from somewhere else because you're not allowed to buy from somewhere else. So like it's
Oh my God.
it's a tight spot we're putting them in. I mean, truly, we painted
Men
them
have
into a
it hard.
corner.
This started a long time ago when Ryan and I were dating. He bought me flowers, I think, from Walmart. And I said to him, thank you. Please don't ever do that again.
Wow. Did you say that the moment he gave them to you, or did you wait a minute and like let the appreciation sit in, or did you just immediately
No.
like this gift?
Pretty direct feedback.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
you're lucky that he stuck with you then. I was rude.
I appreciate the gesture. I appreciate the thought. But it's like anything. It's what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
So
we didn't talk about, Caitlin, what was your role in all of this joining up and...
So like I think Kristin touched on, so with us being, we had 4 sisters, but we would plan baby showers. We would plan
we were
bridal
both stay-at-home
showers.
moms.
We planned
both stay-at-home
weddings.
moms.
I mean, I think we planned all 4 weddings.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Did
really
a
we
ton of
started
events.
with more
Grad
like
parties.
events. Oh, grad parties are huge too.
With her baking background too.
Yeah, so we started with a lot of giant events and kind of we're really good at it and we're really good at coordinating. I'm pretty good at coming up with solutions that don't cost a ton of money and kind of engineering things and getting things to work. And yeah, that's kind of, we've always kind of tag teamed when we've had to do stuff like this. And yeah, we've always kind of had a dream to kind of bring Swindlers back to what it used to be. Back in the 80s and 90s, we would have 5 drivers that would go out every single morning to every area of the county to deliver flowers. And so we're trying to kind of get it back to reestablish it for the community and just kind of strengthen it so it'll be here for another 100 years.
And floristry is not an easy business. I mean, it's not an accident that florists all over the country are going out of business, and it's for a myriad of reasons, but cost of goods, tariffs, you name it. Children don't want to take it over. They understand how hard the work is. So that presents a challenge, but we're here for it. It forces us to be better and be creative about how we do business. And I think being the SE of Wilmington's been a great, it brings people in, right? It brings people in to support other local artists.
Yeah.
But then they get excited about what we're doing. Like we're drying flowers from Nellie that we bought at the end of her growing season. We bought everything she had left and we've been drying them. And I've got a garden club event that we're going to do in April with those dried flowers. And it's that local love that is now finding new life in local flower arrangements.
Mm-hmm. So I have bought the house across from you, this little white one, 21 maybe. So before you guys bought the business and made the updates. And I walked in once and I was like, oh, this is whatever. And then I walked in like a year ago and like I was like, wow, this is like, it's not just like your old, I'd forgotten rundown. It's like super nice. So what are some of the things that you guys like improved when you bought the business? You did a lot of work on the outside. What all did you do?
Well, we tore down the garden center. I mean, it was kind of tearing itself down.
We did. So we tore down the garden center. We removed a lot of the pegboard paneling. We removed a ton of the kind of like the 1980s showroom glass shelving that kind of all Tetrises in together. A lot of stuff has been thrown away. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but nothing had ever been thrown away. I mean,
you have to appreciate that this business has been around since the Great Depression. And so that's the other blessing, is that anytime somebody was like, aren't you worried about the tariffs? Aren't you worried about, whatever's going on politically? Well, we've survived worse.
Yeah.
There have been world wars and we're still here. So 100 years of stuff. And
well, even just like sales racks, like the basement would just be filled with, like if you walk in a Hallmark store and like all the cards are on like a metal rack, we had like 50 of those metal racks. And clearly we're not going to bring them back upstairs and put, thousands of cards on. But it's little things like that take up space and just honestly mind clutter. It's like mental clutter. So there's been a lot of cleaning,
things away.
Organizing.
I've inspired my employees to be more throwing stuff away. They're like,
oh, Marie Kondo. Marie Kondo is
minimalism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look her up.
You don't know Marie Kondo?
Should I?
Yeah.
It's almost like a verb. Like if you Google something, you Marie Kondo stuff.
Okay.
So she picks up everything, and then you're supposed to ask, does this bring me joy?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't bring you joy, then you have to get rid of it.
Does it spark joy?
Yes.
Does it spark joy?
Does it spark joy?
Interesting.
Was it Netflix? She had a whole series on?
I think so.
Yeah, it was Netflix.
She's written books.
Yeah, she's great. But she'll go in people's homes and she'll help them declutter and she'll help them walk through that whole decluttering process.
But she has a process. She has a way where every piece of paper you bring to one spot, every item of clothing you bring to one spot, and so then you can really see all the stuff that you have and you bring it to one spot, and then you can go through and you're like, I didn't know I had 25 charger cords for a phone that I don't own anymore. And then that's an easy thing. Well, you don't need those.
Well, and honestly, that's truly what we've been doing at the greenhouse is...
I found Uncle Jeff's cash. It was I don't even want to call it like an adding machine from the 70s. It had thick buttons.
Yeah.
And it had his name on it, but it was like one of those that like stamped your name out on a wheel. Anyway, I texted a picture. I'm like, do you want your adding machine back?
Fitting.
Well, but, honestly,
it was so old, but it was still there.
We've also, it's almost been like a time capsule because a lot of the things that we found, I think there were like overalls that were hung up that were grandpa's that I guarantee he just hung them up one day.
And that was it.
And they've just been there
Wow.
for the last 20 some years. But we were also able to find...
We'll talk about the Morton building.
Oh, a ton of photos from like the 40s and all of my great-grandmother's letters and papers and clippings that she had kept for we have letters from the 1600s that we found in the Morton building where it was not even 1600s, that's way too far. Early 1800s, so like 1802, 1803.
There's some from 17.
But it was before there were addresses, so it would just be like to Kristin near Wilmington. And so the post office would just bring it to Wilmington and know that there was someone named Kristin.
That's weird.
That's
wild.
It's wild. But we even found slides from when Grandpa and Dick were overseas in World War II, like of the Eagle's Nest. Of World War II, like
crazy.
And I'm just such like a history buff, and I love like diving into that. And so it was so neat. And when I say like you could have filmed this little area right here with the tubs that we found.
So our great grandma Feike was very into genealogy and family history. And so it was her collection of items from her family, the Skimming family. So great grandma Feike. And then when she passed away, all of those records and treasures went to Grandma Pat. And then when Grandma Pat passed away, they were moved into the Morton building. And
they've been lost, yeah.
They've just been in boxes.
What's the Morton building?
It's that big green building next to Swindlers.
Oh, okay.
Kind of behind Domino's.
That is half painted green that we need.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah. But will be painted this spring. All of that stuff, we use that building for storage. And so all of that stuff was in that building.
But even so, like on my grandmother's side, her father, he was a teacher for Wilmington College. And he actually was recruited by the Reds before he tore his rib cage. Anyways, I digress. But we even have his Letterman sweaters from the early 1900s that are like the Wilmington College Lettermans in perfect condition.
1920.
Yeah, like in green. It would have been earlier than that.
No, because she was born in 1902.
But that was her. Well, that was her dad. Oh, no, that would have been her husband.
It was her husband.
Okay, yeah, just kidding. Anyways, so probably some from like the 20s. We have those Letterman Wilmington College. We should probably reach out and see if they would them on showcase or something because they're just sitting in tubs right now.
They're
gorgeous,
perfectly preserved.
Yeah,
I mean,
like 100-year-old.
It's amazing.
Speaking of the Morton building, so Domino's, did you guys ever own that land and sell it to Domino's?
It's owned by R&L, or it's actually whatever R&L's land management. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we used to own it, and then I think they sold it.
We used to own it, and they rented.
Yes.
And then years ago, probably 30 years ago.
They rented the land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
there was a building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was a building on that property before Domino's because it was kind of like a little mom and pop's. Like a lot of kids after school would go there and get like
cheese or
French fries or, like something like that.
And that wasn't where Carrie is now? Wasn't that building? It was the Domino's place?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of this cheese place.
Yes.
We interviewed the band Bookmook a long time ago, and she was talking about her mother, like, getting some, maybe her getting some cheese or something.
Yeah. It was just like this
you
little...
could buy giant pickles. You could buy ice cream, which is like odd, and cheese, all kinds of cheese. But it was Van's restaurant, I think before that, where you could get a Van Dandy. I don't even know what a Van Dandy is.
I was about to say, I
don't know what a Van Dandy is, but it was Aunt Ev's husband, Van, who ran it. I have no idea.
Our family tree touches lots of trees in this town. But like our branches touch lots of branches.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, it was part.
So then LT bought it, and then whatever it is now is Domino's. Okay.
Yeah. And they still own the land, obviously, but they just do the
Well, it goes, you can kind of see, we have a right of way through, there's like
the side
lot
to Wood Street.
To the Morton building.
It's like an easement.
Oh, okay. That was a tangent. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
It is all
the name of the game.
Green.
Lots of them.
Horribly means at Morton building.
Was there any other challenges since, I'm sure there, what other challenges did you have? Not if there was.
Yes.
What other challenges besides the gas leak have you guys had since starting this a year ago?
Oh, gosh.
Frozen pipes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because granted, it's a 100-year-old building. So a lot of the pipes that they ran it into concrete. So some of our water pipes are ran through concrete walls, which is problematic. So when they freeze, there's really no thawing them easily.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. So thank God my husband's handy because he's had to fix some frozen pipes that have burst. We've had, oh my gosh, the basement flooded. When we got that huge, crazy rain. I think it was March or April of this last year. I mean, it was like, I think we got like 8 or 9 inches or something crazy, but all the storm sewers filled up. And because Swindlers kind of sits like this at the bottom of 2 hills.
Yeah.
When all the storm sewers filled up, our drains started going like this. And so I have photos of myself in the basement with our sump pump, with a second sump pump, and I'm hand squeegeeing every square inch of that, 2,000-3,000 square foot basement. So that was fun.
I gave her my boots.
I did, thank God.
I gave her my boots. Yep. That was a challenge. Certainly the growing spaces, have their own challenges. Just not being up to date and not being energy efficient. And so our goal is to renovate or build new greenhouses down the road.
Another challenge, too, has just been reassuring people that we're still here.
Yeah,
there are a lot of people thought we closed, and still people to this day. So
it was for sale for a while.
It was for sale, but it was still being ran. But I think a lot of people thought when that for sale sign was up that they had just closed. So a lot of people will still say, "Oh, so you guys reopened it?" Like they don't realize
you reopened.
Yes, and so they don't realize. So that was a lot of disinformation that we were trying to combat, or misinformation that we were trying to combat.
It's funny that we're such a small town. You think everyone knows everything, but they don't know the right thing sometimes.
Yeah.
That's like everybody in town knows everything, but it's not always right.
Right. Yes. Right. For sure.
trying to think what else.
Getting the new HVAC in was huge because up until this last spring, they'd never had air conditioning.
And which part of it?
They did.
The sales floor.
They did have air conditioning, but it no longer worked. So when I was a kid, there was AC up there.
But not for like the last 25, 30 years.
Not for the last,
it had been.
How's that work? Like, how did you survive in the building?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. We never had to deal with that because we got it in before it got too hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to sweat.
Yeah. No, basically from what we heard from other people who worked there, it was just real hot. And there were days that you just kind of kept the doors open and some fans on.
They had fans. They had like portable air conditioners. I'm not quite sure.
That's a lot of investment for this. Did your uncle just give you this building? Because like,
you know what?
geez,
it's
all the
huge,
money you're dumping into it.
It's a huge investment.
Yeah.
And I think that's, when people are like, where's your sign? And where, why haven't you done this? Or when are you going to do this? It's hard to appreciate all the investments that we've made. I mean, just upgrading
that
the
you
phone
can't
system.
see. Oh, that's huge. Yeah.
Just updating creating a whole new website that's user-friendly, that doesn't look outdated. And what else? The electric outdoors, updating the electric so that everything's to code. And that goes back to, our grandfather, my husband, your husband, you do things the right way. We're not going to.
Yeah. And to your point, like a lot of the improvements you can't see. I mean, obviously they're the cosmetic ones. We did the boxwood wall, which looks phenomenal. We've done a lot of painting.
We had the front of the store redone, but I mean, at least the exterior. But even that's not done.
Yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. But even like the floors drive me nuts when I walk in there. But it's like, you know what? It's one battle at a time, and this is not. It's a marathon, and we just got to keep trying.
Our next challenge right now is roof. So
yes,
is to make that big investment to redo the roof. And so we're waiting on roofer schedules to.
That is a huge investment that no one appreciates, because it's like you don't see it. So it's like there's a lot of money gone just to stay open.
Well, and I think
it doesn't necessarily increase the value of your
and I don't think we even truly appreciated what our roof was, because it's a building that has been added and pieced onto for 100 years. And so I think we have like 4 or 5 different types of roofing.
We have 7.
7? Okay. It's a lot. And they're all kind of pieced together. So even we've had roofers come out that go, I don't even want to give you a quote because I don't want to do this job. They're just like, this isn't our wheelhouse. Or it's a gigantic
quote just telling you that they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I've had that a few times.
I mean, yeah. The company that we're going to go with their quote's right. It's right in line with what we've got from a couple other, but again, it's just all of these business improvements, operational improvements that go unseen, but it's building the bones so that you can then grow a business
and keep it for a long time.
Exactly. And not do the easy fix, not do what's quick and easy, but do it the right way and do it once.
Yeah. I have a question about the business itself. So who is the market for flowers? Like, and what is it that you guys exactly sell? Like, what are your main items that makes the business function?
We touch people's lives. Flowers are in people's lives for every big event. When you're born, birthdays, graduations, anniversaries, holidays, Christmas, being a big one, Mother's Day, planting. Obviously, our garden center does a huge business. So growing food, growing flowers for your garden, perennials. So we used to do landscaping. We don't do landscaping anymore, but we sell things that you can plant in your landscape. But then weddings, funerals. And so at every point, you're touching people's lives and you get to know them. And I think that with all of this experience this past year, it's one of the true gifts is getting to sit with people when they're in struggle, when they're trying to figure out what flowers their mother would want in a casket spray, or what we should say on the ribbon that would most honor and reflect the person that they've lost. And sitting with that person and helping, listening, and then trying to bring that vision to life. It's our honor. It's a big responsibility, and we both take it very seriously. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if that answers your question. Like where flowers, it's the same with weddings. Weddings, it's hopefully less sad, but
I would hope no sad. If it's sad, that's a problem.
less.
Oh my
But you're
gosh.
also sitting with somebody and you're trying to bring their vision to life.
Yes.
You're trying to figure out, what is your color palette? What is the look and feel? What does your dress look like? What shoes are you wearing? What colors is your fiance wearing? What time of day is your ceremony? Are you being married in a church? Are you being married outside? What time of year? All of those things go into a look and feel of creating a cohesive event. And that's always our goal. And funerals are really no different. It's what is your loved one going to be wearing? What color is the casket? What was important to them? We've done funerals where there was a Bengals theme, and Caitlin cricketed Who Day on ribbons, and we put Who Day ribbons. There was a funeral that comes to mind where the person that passed away was a hunter, and so we were able to incorporate antlers from a deer that he had shot and feathers from a turkey. And it was just the most beautiful, moving tribute to this person. And it was meaningful to him or to his family, but, also meaningful to us just to have that connection.
Well, and I think to your point, like flowers are emotional. So flowers, you're either sending flowers to someone because someone passed away, or you're sending flowers to someone because it's their birthday, or you're sending flowers to someone because you're saying, I'm sorry, or you're sending flowers to someone because you love them. I mean, and when I say like
there's emotion tied to it,
there's such emotion tied to flowers. And so, yes, like I think a huge market for us is obviously sympathy work and, sending condolences out to families. We do sell a ton of flowers. We do have a ton of sympathy gifts that we also offer and sell. And we've just now started getting back into weddings. I think that's becoming an emerging market for us. Before we took over, Swindlers had kind of stopped taking on weddings just
Why?
because
It's not like really profitable for like flowers. That's crazy.
I don't know that they're.
I think they had scaled down
Maybe
to
like
such
run
a
by
point.
guys. Maybe they still want to do weddings. Maybe they needed women to come in and do weddings.
I mean, there's a lot of intricate work with boutonnieres and corsage work, and I'm not quite sure, but we've slowly started to kind of welcome brides back in, and instead of sending them, you'd have to go Cincinnati or Dayton or like a bigger market to get your flowers, and
they're so excited, and especially today's brides, they're so invested in every part of it, and want to have a creative. Every bride that comes in is excited and has a vision for how she envisions the day going. And even grooms, that's the cool thing, is that couples are coming in now, where I remember watching my grandmother do bridal consults, and it was usually the bride and the mother of the bride, and that was it. And it may just be the mother of the bride, but now I'm seeing couples come in, and I think that's really cool too. But to Caitlin's point, flowers are emotional. If you ask somebody, what is your favorite flower?
Oh, people have very strong opinions.
Yeah. Like, what's your favorite flower?
I don't know.
Okay, that is a bad answer.
I'm so sorry. I legitimately do not know. I couldn't even tell you the name of the flower. A rose. I know the rose. A dandelion.
We need to do a floral education.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
How about where have you been?
I know.
Pick out
where
your
have you
favorite.
been? What is wrong? What's happened in your life?
You should really hold back how upset you are.
No, let's talk about that though. Like, what happened in your life that you don't know what your favorite flower is?
Oh, is this? I don't know.
Have you ever grown flowers?
I don't think so.
See, maybe that you just need to grow something. Sometimes when you grow,
do you have a favorite color?
I guess blue probably is pretty basic.
Okay, blue's a great color, and there's some really cool flowers that are blue. What is your favorite season?
Oh man, I don't know. Summer maybe, because it's not cold. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, do things.
The artificial flowers that you picked in your window box upstairs, what color are they?
They're not flowers. They're just floral. It's just green.
Just green. Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
Do you like scent? Suss out his favorite flower for him.
I am. I'm gonna. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Do you like flowers that have scent or not?
I guess it's even better. More senses. Looks good. Smells good. Why not?
Okay. I think we just need to put you in the cooler and just.
Oh my god!
It sounded like a threat.
I know. It does feel like
a murder podcast.
I know.
If I come up missing, dead in a cooler.
Yeah.
This is
No. So. Everybody has a favorite flower. And I know you have a favorite flower too. You just haven't found it yet.
I don't know what reason I would have for making a certain flower a favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like a sentimental thing.
That's even sadder.
Oh my gosh. I didn't think of. Like,
Did you make that worse?
I'm saying nothing in my. There's no experience in my life that's been tied to a flower. That's like.
Oh,
That's
got it.
that. Must nothing like just happened that's been meaningful.
I thought you meant like there's
No.
no reason to have one. I'm like, well, it's like your favorite ice cream. It's just to have, or
I
like
could say
your
my
favorite
ice
type
cream
of.
is like
What's your favorite ice
mint
cream?
chocolate chip and sherbet together because my grandma got me that once like on a trip and it's
oh.
like so weird. It's
Okay.
so weird, but it's like
Okay, say that again.
It's sentimental.
I love
Mint
mint chocolate chip.
chip and sherbet in the
Hold
same
on.
cone.
Rainbow sherbet.
Okay,
Only rainbow, but only UDF.
I like UDF too. It's the best.
That's the only rainbow sherbet that's good.
I'll
Kroger
try it.
brand.
Yeah.
No.
For sure.
Only rainbow. It's got to be UDF rainbow
You
sherbet.
lost me at sherbet.
That was my childhood.
But-
just rainbow sherbet. Love it.
I lived on Rose Avenue when I was a child, so the idea of rose is like a sentimental concept, but I think about the flower itself.
Okay, but here's the thing with roses. So I never was a big rose fan until I started working down at the greenhouse, and we have orange roses, which I'd never even. You don't really see orange roses ever.
Mhm.
Stunning. Like they are beautiful. And so like that is your probably least favorite rose color, but that's my favorite rose color.
No, I love all roses. But the good news is that there are so many other flowers.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many other flowers.
Not a ton of blue though. You'd have to really, other than iris and delphinium.
What are have you said your favorite flowers yet? And what's important? Because
No.
like I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just a guy. Like
my favorite, my absolute favorite flower.
We're doing an intensive for you.
Yes, you need.
We're
to-
doing
Okay.
a flower education
okay,
because I'm very concerned for you.
we can discuss.
I
we
really
can
am.
discuss the
I really am.
flower boxes in front of my building. Maybe that'll tie something in. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we need
Does
to.
your husband have a favorite flower?
Um,
And your
yes,
male children?
I'm going
Yes.
to ask.
Okay.
We're going to take a poll tonight when I get home.
Brian likes purple flowers. He likes anything purple. If it's purple, it's fine.
But that's not a flower. That's just a color he likes.
Yeah, he likes purple. I mean,
Yeah.
if it was, he likes liatris, he likes purple roses, he likes any purple flower. He's pretty simple. Pansies. So whenever I'm doing any of our flower boxes or our window boxes or deck plantings in pergola, I know if I mix purple in, he's going to be happy. But blue, I mean, it is the rarest color that exists in nature. And so I think that's really cool that you like blue. And so delphinium and iris. There are forget-me-nots that have a blue flower that are just stunning. There's a great brunera. It's called Jack Frost brunera. It's a great perennial, and it has the most gorgeous, they're so sweet and so delicate blue flowers that bloom in the spring.
It's good to know that it's really rare. Could be a thing.
It is.
It is.
It's a little frustrating sometimes when people call and say, I want an all
Hydrangeas.
blue arrangement. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, we're down to
Hydrangeas
3
are blue.
flowers.
I mean, you can get
Yeah.
some blue in hydrangeas and stuff. But
So your favorite flowers?
tulips, peony tulips, peonies, I would say, are my favorite. Although I do love a good garden rose.
Is there a reason that tulips are your favorite?
I think they're just simple and elegant. I like that they arrive in the spring, and it's the sign of hope and that we're coming out of winter. Good things are ahead. So I would say tulips.
I love red carnations, and it's very sentimental because our grandfather used to grow.
She picked the right answer. That's
No, this is true.
it is true. Yeah.
Because people tease me all the time because carnations are supposed to be a filler flower. They're not supposed to be the main flower. And there are people who really do not like carnations when they call in.
Oh yeah.
I love a red carnation. Our grandfather used to grow them. And so I kind of associate a red carnation with my grandfather. And growing up, kind of to your point where you spent more time with grandma, I spent more time with grandpa. I would sit without a seatbelt in the back of the delivery van, holding on to arrangements.
Child labor.
On the floor, holding on to arrangements they didn't spill. And grandpa, it would be a van that all the seats had been taken out of the back. And usually there wasn't even a passenger seat, so you could fit as much flowers as you could. And then I just associated our grandfather with just strong work ethic. I mean, like he was kind of like, do you know how you grow up and you're like, that's the perfect example of a strong person in your life, And so
He was a prince of a man. I mean, that's
exactly.
That's
It's like he
best
was just
description that I've ever heard is that he was a prince of a man, and he in every way possible. And so,
yeah.
but to having an emotional tie to flowers, I mean,
Yeah.
that
So I just whenever I see red carnation, I always think of grandpa, and so I kind of tie it to that.
can I have another favorite flower?
Yeah.
Lily.
You can take mine.
Yeah. You take your unnamed one.
Lily of the Valley? Is it?
Lily of the Valley. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's another blooming bulb corn that blooms in the spring. But Grandma and Grandpa at their house on Burtonville had a giant patch of Lily of the Valley. It's just glorious. It's so delicate. If you've ever seen the bulb plant that has a flower stalk and then looks like little bells hanging down. It's Lily of the Valley. It's very poisonous. So don't eat it.
Oh, wow.
Don't eat most plants. Let's just be honest.
I don't go around doing that, so.
Yeah, that's good.
Don't let the truth about
steer
stay.
But the deer don't eat them. And so that's
always a good sign.
Yeah.
The deer's not eating it. You're
the
probably
deer love tulips.
Let's kind of just wrap up the business piece and just maybe share what's something you're excited about bringing this back into the community. Like, where do you see this going? One thing I forgot to add too is you brought the Christmas tradition thing back recently too. So you're bringing back some traditions that people seems like they miss.
Yeah. So what the cool thing about, one of the many cool things, I've had customers call from Arizona and say, I still have the ornament, and I'm 67 years old. I still have the ornament that I got when I was a little girl, and I went to your family's open house at Christmas, and my brother just passed away, and I have his ornament too. And I hang him on my tree every year. It's that level of interconnectedness that I think having a business that's been around as long as we have and have touched as many lives as it has, it's just magic. It's its own community. So what am I excited about? I'm excited about doing the full open house next year once we have more of the renovations completed. But every day, I'm excited about a new rose, a new flower. I'm excited about Valentine's Day. That's a big holiday for us. I would say probably next to Mother's Day, it's the busiest holiday.
Like, just keeping traditions alive is a good thing, keeping community alive, not letting the 1-800-Flowers come in and just, there's no like personal.
Let me do a PSA for you. Eva's Flowers.
Or Ava's, yeah.
Ava's. If you Google them on your phone right now, if you say Florists near me, I guarantee, do it.
Okay. So on Google Maps or something?
Just do Wilmington Florist.
Just do Wilmington Florist or Florists near me.
And you'll get a ton of fake results that will say that they're Wilmington, but they're not. And then you'll call this florist.
That is right. First one is Ava's Florist.
Exactly.
Sponsored result.
And then it probably says local. Does it say local, family owned?
Wilmington Florist. Local florist in Wilmington. Yeah.
Exactly.
So they're actually located in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And so we'll get a phone call from LA, but they will use kind of a phone number.
They buy numbers. They buy phone numbers.
But it's like fake. So when it shows up on our caller ID, it looks like they're calling from the hospital here in Wilmington, or it looks like they're calling from the
Cincinnati
or
Kettering.
But they're really calling from Los Angeles, and then they'll place an order on behalf of that customer. But they'll either charge the customer twice what they're giving us. So the customer will be like, I spent $200 and I just received a dozen roses. Well, we were told to give you a dozen roses. We're sorry they charged you $200, but then it's this whole thing and they dispute the credit cards. And so
Ava's Flowers takes the order.
They dispute the payment they gave you?
Because they didn't order. They didn't order it through Swindlers. They ordered it through Ava's. And so they are like, why are we being charged from Swindlers? And rightfully so.
So is the customer being charged from Swindlers? Like, they're not, right? They're being charged from this.
No,
they're being charged by the third party and sometimes by us. It depends
on how Ava's does
because it's not just Ava's. There's like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I saw a few on the results.
Yeah, that will pop up, and they're order gatherers. And
they keep anywhere from 40 to 60% of every order that they take. So it's bad for customers. It's bad for the recipient. And it's bad for us because it's hard to tell sometimes. Because if you think anytime that I suspect that it's an order gatherer, I'll say, are you sure that this is your friend? Are you sure that you're sending flowers?
So they just lie to your face like this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, this is Ava's calling. I'm going to place an order. Like, that'll be more ethical and easier to deal with.
This is my friend. And I'm
weird.
Yeah, it's just, it's a scam. It is an absolute scam, and I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
Eva's and Ava's are a scam, and it's awful.
Well, and so they'll charge the customer $100. Then they'll call us. They'll give us $40. So the charge
including delivery.
And so the charge will show up as
Including
Swindlers
delivery
for
and
40,
tax.
but it'll show from them for, the other amount. And so that's where they start disputing things. It's just,
Wait, I don't understand that. So the customer calls Ava's to purchase flowers for $100.
and then
Ava's
Ava
gives you
calls
$40,
us.
right?
Yeah.
And how is
using
the customer?
but they use the customer's information.
What?
It's
Oh, that's the weird part.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's to
So
me.
they
I
just give
do
you
not-
the customer's credit card information?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know how it's not wire fraud.
that is crazy.
I honestly don't know how it's not wire fraud because it's across state lines.
No, we have a list like next
I
to
have
our
copy
phone.
boards for this, and
Like,
I
all
can
that.
do this all day.
Sunny's
Like,
Flowers is
it's-
another big one. Ava's, Sunny's.
because it's criminal. And if you call back, so I've had
It could be done ethically, I feel like. But
I've
that's just
had
so
multiple
unethical.
Or like a
customers
Grubhub,
in tears that have come in and said, I had no idea. I can't get my money back. They're disputing it, and nobody will call them back, or they keep getting told that it was delivered and it wasn't. We've had customers tell us that they ordered flowers through Ava's or Eva's for a funeral. And then the funeral director will call us and say, do you guys want a peace lily? Because we just had one delivered for a funeral that was last week. So arriving like 5 days late.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do you dispute it? Because they're saying it was delivered. I don't know who's delivering it. I don't know where it's coming
I know. You never even knew the seedy, dark underworld of florals.
Every
and
business,
florists.
I guess, every industry has like some kind of scam that goes on. Like the Murphy has ticket scammers. Like my business, I sell websites. So people are always calling every business and saying, oh, you owe us money for your domain name. And it's like, I don't have my domain name through you. You're just trying to scare me to pay you money.
Mhm.
Every industry has its like, I mean,
We've had that
Listen,
too.
I fell for that.
you fell for that? I didn't mean to say it like,
This
come
is
on.
this is a tangent, but
You fell for it.
I got a phone call. I was buying ribbon before we bought the business, and I was in a wholesaler buying ribbon, and I had this missed call that showed up from like the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, and I'm like, what is this? And so I listened to the voicemail, and it's this detective wants me to call him back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, one of the dogs got out. Like, what's going on? Call him back, and he tells me that I missed jury duty and there's a warrant out for my arrest. I fell for it. I did not know it was a scam. I was a basket case. Like, I was like, I would never miss jury duty. It's like, that's not possible. And anyway, I believed that they were going to come and arrest me. And so clearly that was a scam, but it is so,
Because
people
they
are
want you
so
to wire
good.
them money so that they wouldn't
I did
arrest
try
you.
to wire the money. And our bank alerted it as fraud, which is good.
Did your husband say it was he suspicious or no?
Okay, so
He was out hunting. So.
he was hunting with a bunch of his friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I call him in tears, and I'm like, I need you to wire me $6,000. He's like,
What?
yeah, I know, but I was going to get it back. That was the whole thing. I was going to get it back if I showed up in court to dispute the missed jury duty.
This is internet scam 101.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And I'm like, and when I tried to wire it, my bank alerted fraud. And so I'm like, I'm going to have to call our banker. Like, hold on. And so anyway.
But they were able to mirror. I mean, the same thing that they do when
They
they
had
call
the
us.
police
They mirror
scanners.
the police. So it looked like the police station was calling her. I mean, it was
So
their number, but
here's
they
the-
just are able to.
If I can't, one thing I'm good at is turning a crazy situation crazier. So I got mad once. So he's hunting with his buddies, and one of his friends is like, this is a scam. Tell her to hang up. And I'm like, it's not. They're coming. They're coming. And Brian's like, Kristin, I'm hanging up now. This is a scam. And so he hangs up, and I call her sister Erin. I'm like, can you bail me out of jail? And she's like, are you in jail? I go, no, I'm not in jail, but they're going to come arrest me because I missed jury duty. She goes, Kristin, that's a scam. I'm like, no, I don't think it is. Anyway.
So 2 people told you it was a scam and you still try to wire money.
Listen,
So
different
I haven't
generation.
even gotten to
Oh
the
my
crazy
God.
part.
Oh
So
my God.
I haven't gotten to the crazy part. So
We're recording this, people are going to hear this.
I don't know.
It's
like
funny.
I got so mad because it was like dawning on me that this was a scam. But they had my social security number. They had my birth date. They had our address.
You gave it to them or they had
No,
They
they
had
had it.
Oh, okay.
They had all of this stuff. They're like, no, on such and such date, you were sent this notice. Regardless, I got so mad realizing that this was a scam and that I had just lost an entire day, like sobbing. And I'm in line to pick up Luke from school in Kettering. I'm like, I'm going to call him back and give them a piece of my mind because this is absolutely criminal. Like, how do you sleep at night? And so I go, call. And so I called the number that had been calling me. It was the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. And so I'm like, can I please speak with Detective so-and-so? She's like, he's not in right now. Can you take a message? I'm like, I bet he's not in. I bet he's not in. But I want to know, how does he sleep at night? How do you sleep at night? Preying on people. And like, I go into this, she's like, man, can I help you? I just read her the riot act. Like, there's a special place in hell for you.
Oh my God.
Yes, because
she thought she was calling the scammers then.
yes.
She didn't realize that she was.
I did not realize that I was literally calling
Do they
the Montgomery
use
County
an
Sheriff's.
actual person's name?
Yes.
So the person who called you wasn't that person, but they said a name of
They
the
said-
actual person.
because I did that.
yeah.
Early in the phone call,
Yeah.
I did that. I
Googled
looked up
his name. Yeah.
the Montgomery County Sheriff's
Yeah.
Detective Johnson.
Okay, I'm
And I'm
gonna
like,
be
oh
real.
my gosh.
That same person called me too. I didn't fall for it, but like that same exact scam was called to me.
What tipped you off that this is a scam?
I Googled it, the number, and saw it was a scam. And then I just to make sure, I called Montgomery County Sheriff, whatever, whoever that is, and asked for that same person.
Yeah.
And they said that they weren't there. So I just left it at that.
So
It was way less emotional for me to deal with that same scam.
I was like, there's no way that I missed jury duty. There's no,
Mhm.
it's not possible. And he was like, well, ma'am, do you pick up your mail? I'm like, no, my husband gets the mail. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's at the end of our driveway. I'm usually planting something, and I 1,000,000% would know if I had jury duty. Had it before, you have to call in every night, whatever. And he was like, well, do you have any enemies? I'm like, I have 4 children. I do not have enemies. Like, what are your enemies? He was like, well, somebody that signed your name and sent it back in. I'm like, no. Like, have you lost your mind?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, but in my defense, even though you've came out ahead on this, one of my girlfriends is a physician. She had the same phone call, and she was pulled out of a patient office. She's a dermatologist. She was pulled out of a patient room because the Montgomery County Sheriff detective was on the phone and that they were coming to arrest her. And she got so upset, she called her husband, who's an orthodontist. He got pulled out of patients, and it took them 45 minutes because she was also convinced.
Yeah.
And it is just with AI and all of that stuff, it's
gonna get worse.
terrifying.
It's gonna get worse.
It's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
And so, full circle, don't fall for it. Trust a local florist.
Yes. That's being said, if you are going to buy flowers in St. Louis or
Any other city.
not just
Oh,
here
yeah.
in Wilmington, once you find the florist online, find their actual physical location, brick and mortar, and make sure.
Or
that
you know what?
physical
Call
place.
us. Call us,
Yes.
and I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Because we have a network. So Teleflora, which we're part of, I just punch in the city. It could be Timbuktu, Nevada. I will find a florist for you there, and I will give you their number, and you can call them directly or their website, or however is easiest. But just to save people that heartache, because it's awful.
And to your point, like talking about things arriving late to funerals. So we get a ton of funeral orders, and some people be like, well, the funeral's on Wednesday. And then the next person will be like, no, it's on Tuesday. We actually do the actual work of, like, we call the funeral homes, we coordinate everything with the funeral homes. We know when the time's going to be. We know when they want the flowers there. And so we don't have those mistakes where things aren't there for the service, because sometimes they're private services. So there is no published information. And so it's kind of a shot in the dark. But we've had a lot of funeral homes going, someone came 4 days late for this service, and someone came 3 weeks early for this service. And
They've delivered.
Yeah.
Oh.
They've delivered, or they'll receive flowers for a service that has been long past.
Yeah.
And
there's no checks and
probably
balances. Yeah.
an Avas or an Evas
Mhm.
that found some person, some business to deliver a peace lily.
That's pretty sad. Like, because
It's
flowers are
awful.
for events, like you're saying. So it's stuff like that happens. Like how deep-
And you're preying on
Exactly.
people.
Exactly. I will
Yeah.
die.
not to get you all worked up. But
Yeah.
you are right.
No, it is criminal. It is criminal
Yeah.
because you're preying on somebody's pain, right?
Mhm.
Especially for funerals, especially for
yeah.
funerals, that they are trying to send a reflection of their sentiment, their love, we're with you, we're thinking of you, we're praying for you, feeling through flowers, and to not even have it arrive, and then to have a scam as part of that, it's just, there's a special place in hell. I will die on this hill. Like,
Okay.
there is.
Okay, last couple quick questions. What keeps you passionate about what you do? Obviously, it's a struggle. It's hard. A lot of things happen. What keeps you passionate?
I feel like I'm always going first. I'll go first.
I was just going to say, I want to preserve our family legacy so much. And I have such a great memory of how it used to be, how Swindlers used to be. And I'm not saying I want to go back 40 years in the past. But I think I want to bring Swindlers to that same glory, but in this time, in 2026.
Yeah.
I think part of what keeps me going too is just the customers who call, the customers who come in and they tell stories of my grandma or my grandpa or when they got married and their flowers and what they look like. And it's just, or they come in and they reflect on how beautiful the place looks and how much changed. I think that kind of feeds our soul and kind of keeps us going because there are stressful parts of owning a business. So it's those little glimmers that you can find every day that I think really kind of keep the passion and keep us moving forward. And we've had such an amazing outreach and support from the community. And I mean, it's just felt really, really good.
Yeah, you feel love every day.
You do. You feel loved. And I think feeling that love has also kind of kept the passion because I know had we not felt that with the community, I don't think either of us would still have the passion to still be doing what we're doing. So I think community has definitely helped. And
So it sounds like the legacy for your family and then also how much it means to other people.
100%. Yeah.
Well, and for me, making grandma proud.
Yes.
That's a big, it's the family connection. It's the same reason that I backed out of the deal to buy the Florist in downtown Dayton. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like who I was, what I was meant to do. And I feel like now we're doing exactly what we're meant to do.
For sure.
And making her proud and feeling her presence. Like, I don't want to be woo-woo, but just feeling her in everything that we do. That she spent the majority of her life working down at the greenhouse and designing and being a big part of this community, that connection and making her proud. It's pretty cool. And flowers. How can you not love flowers? Dustin.
I knew you were going to give me that.
Not my favorite flower.
I knew you were going to just say that without making you dig at me. What's a quote or piece of wisdom that you guys live by that you want to share with other people?
I don't know that this pertains to flowers in general, but this is something I always tell my kids and I kind of live by it. Your success is not someone else's failure and your failure is not someone else's success. And you can't walk around in life being a giant measuring stick, comparing yourself to other people and holding yourself up to other people. And I think a rising tide rises all boats. And it's just about being, if someone else is successful in my circle, I'm so excited for them and I'm so happy for them. And unfortunately, there are people who kind of get upset when people are successful. And so I kind of live by that, where it's just looking for the joy and looking for the positive in everything and trying not to kind of sit in negativity, or if that makes sense. But yes.
I feel like that's probably one of the single biggest things that I feel like would make a positive impact in Wilmington is that there's so many good people, but then there's some people that well, why did they get this for? Why? It's come on, guys, we're all on the same team,
Yes.
We're all on the same team.
Yes. And that's
you didn't get it this time, but we'll get it next time or
I
whatever.
know. And there's so many people that get excited by someone else's failure.
That's sick too.
And there are so many people that get upset when people are successful. And so I've always tried to instill that in my kids that you're only measuring against yourself. This entire world is not a giant competition, right? So as long as you're bettering yourself and working towards something.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
For me, doing the hard right or do the next right thing. It's leaning into the difficult conversation or seeking to understand, just doing the next right thing, whatever that is. And, it may not feel like a lot in that moment, but over time, it just compounds.
Is there a reason why having a hard conversation is important to you?
Just for direct feedback,
mm-hmm.
for clear communication.
Yeah. There's a Dave Ramsey quote. He says, to be unclear is to be unkind.
That is Brene Brown.
Well, I heard him say it, so I don't know where he got it from.
But that's another one of your saying is clear is kind.
Yeah.
Clear is kind, unclear is unkind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that
people
communication's a place of struggle.
It is.
Language is a place of struggle. And so if we can be kind with our words and just be honest about our intentions and also not take anything too personally, when somebody comes in and I hate this arrangement. Okay. They're not saying they hate me. It's not about me. It's not about me. What is going to bring you joy? And then let's go find it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people struggle with that too, because we grew up with such you don't want to hurt people's feelings. You don't want to be too direct. And so sometimes I struggle with the clear is kind because I think we or at least I grew up in that people-pleasing generation of make everybody happy without offending anyone.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's a lot of truth to that. The clearer you are communicating in a nice, effectual way, like,
Yeah.
the kinder
Even
it
if
truly
somebody
is.
says something negative to you, just what was your intention behind that? Did you intend to hurt my feelings? Because I don't like to do that, and just kind of seeking to understand, because I think so much gets lost in especially text message and emails, right? Those are fraught with peril if you're going to look to extract any kind of real intent behind a text message or behind an email. And then it's meeting with someone in person. And there's so much that gets lost in translation without that interpersonal communication.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a whole lot easier to be uncomfortable and say your truth or whatever, have that conversation, than it is to try and figure out how to sugarcoat it or say it in a nice way. That takes so much more energy.
I know.
I know. And I
You
feel
know.
like we're just slowly evolving into this, because I think and this is nothing to do with podcast, but I think sitting in discomfort is a new feeling for a lot of people, because having hard conversations can be uncomfortable. And so I think a lot of the people pleasing and trying not to be too direct is a way to kind of keep everybody comfortable. And sometimes I think you need to sit in discomfort to kind of feel like, where is this coming from? But that's Brene Grant. I could do a whole thing on Brene. Clear as time.
So I'm getting into politics, and like when you get into politics, you say things and people have strong opinions against you. And like what you're saying, like sitting in the discomfort, it's like you want to react like, that's not what I'm saying, or you're wrong. But it's like sitting in like, okay, that person made me look like a fool. I feel really bad. But then sitting like, what are they saying?
What are they
trying to say?
Yeah.
But like get past that. And what was the value of what they said? How can we find common ground?
I think it means that you need to have a conversation.
Mm.
Anybody can stand up and name call
Yeah.
and shoot down your idea or say that you're wrong. Why?
Yeah.
Help me understand. I mean, that's what I would use with my teams when I did med device. Help me understand how you got to this place. And 99.9% of the time, it makes sense. There was no ill intent. You may disagree in how to solve a problem in the path to get to the solution, but you probably have the same goal.
Right.
Everybody wants to have a good community. And then it's just, how do you get there? And if you begin with, we have the same goal, then it's good.
I was just thinking sometimes they can be very clear, be very unkind at the same time, but that's okay.
But then it's important to not take it personally.
Exactly.
And to say, you know what, hurt people. And that if somebody is being hurtful to you, they're expressing the hurt that they're feeling, and that's outside of your control. And so it's important, I think, and this is just motherhood speaking, it's not about you. Help me understand what's going on. Well,
and I love I was reading this thing about this Buddhist monk was talking about how like uncomfortableness and like thoughts and feelings, it's just like a cloud passing in the sky, right? So you can say, that's a cloud, and you let it pass. You don't dwell on it. You just acknowledge that it's there and you allow it to move on.
Because it does pass.
It does pass. Yeah. And so it's like when you feel that hurt, you go, yeah, I feel hurt, and move on. And now, so it's like just have to kind of...
The Irish have you ever read Padraig O'Tuama?
No, but I might.
Yeah, he is an Irish scholar, poet. And I'm not going to remember how you say it, but the translation is, sadness is on me. Joy is on me. Love is on me. It's like it's passing through. You can acknowledge it, but you're not your feeling. I am sad, as opposed to sadness is on me. I am hurt. Hurt is on me. And it's like it can come off. Yeah. It's not like I am depressed. Sadness is on me.
It is probably good to view your emotions as coming and going, or a cloud passing.
Absolutely. Everything's better the next day when you sleep on it, right?
Never
sending angry email.
Because we're a couple of us at the greenhouse are listening to telepathy tapes. Didn't that podcast?
Telepathy tapes? What's that?
I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
Telepathy is like mind reading or something?
It's mind reading, but please put this down. I'm telling you, the telepathy tapes will blow your mind. It's like it's one of those new emerging podcasts that are like taking...
Do you think that my car accident is part of that?
It probably is.
What do you mean?
Probably you knew it was happening. But they go into the science behind all of our thoughts are actually energy. So if we're constantly thinking like, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I'm awful, we are pouring that energy back into ourselves, but we're pouring that energy out into the universe. So it's kind of like what you put into the universe comes back to you. It's very like karma. So if you are pouring good energy will come back. If you're pouring bad energy will come back. But basically, thoughts are energy. And you only have, a well every day of your energy you can pull from. And
Well,
listen, telepathy tapes, sidebar, change your mind, or it'll change your life.
I drive from Kettering every day. And I told Jack and Kate, I know I'm going to be in a car accident.
Jack and Kate are your
our kids.
Two kids.
Okay.
Two of our kids.
Yeah.
They were in the kitchen, and this was like, I don't know, maybe it was Thanksgiving-ish. And I was like, guys, this is going to sound really morbid, but I have a feeling that I'm going to be in a car accident. Something's going to happen to my car, and I need to get a new car. And I believed this so deeply. I started shopping for
Way to
cars.
freak your kids out.
I know. That's exactly the reaction we were having.
My God.
No, I knew I would be fine. I knew I'd be fine, but I was just
They're
like,
not.
guys,
They're all messed up.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in a car accident. Something's going to happen to my car. To the point that I was shopping for new cars. And then I spent the night at Mom's, so on Lincoln Street, on December 22nd. I worked that night until like midnight. Took a shower, laid down on the couch because we had to be back the next morning. Her whole family had the flu. They were like deathly ill. So I knew I had to open, and the doorbell rings at like 3 a.m. and a drunk driver had hit the back of my wagon and was lodged underneath my car and totaled my wagon.
To the point where it had picked up. So Robin, our loving sister, who we love so much from St. Louis, was in town as well. But it picked up Kristin's car and threw it into the back of Robin's car and totaled both of their cars.
Oh my gosh.
So it was.
Did Robin tell her kids the same thing? That she's going to get a car wreck? Did she know as well?
No, Robin
did not.
Robin
She had not listened to the
Robin
tapes
said,
yet.
I think you parked too close to.
Maybe true.
And, Robin looked at me and she was like, unbelievable. Because Andrew, her husband, wanted to drive in the next morning, but Robin wanted to drive in that night. And so they drove in that night. And of course, I parked right behind him in front of Mom's. And yeah. But cars can be replaced. People can't, obviously. But I don't know if I put that into the universe, but that'd be kind of more.
Yeah, well, don't put that into the universe.
Everybody,
because that has
hurt.
energy. You just charge energy into the universe.
Yeah, and you told your kids too, and their energy.
I know, and then they're compounded energy caused it.
Okay, this is the absolute last question, and so I'll connect with you. But what's up?
This is like the longest podcast ever.
Sorry. It is very long, but it's been very fun. So what is, speaking of very long, at City Council last night, Peel Law. So Bill Peel spoke at City Council for like over an hour. So that was not fun. This is fun.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I love Bill.
It was great, but people were not happy the hell on the went.
Oh, okay.
But it was good. Yeah. What's a positive change that you'd like to see in Wilmington? Something new?
I would like to
That's
see...
such a good question because I should be outward focused.
I would like to see more community days where it's almost like, not necessarily like the corn festival where people are going to buy stuff, but like a community day where people from different churches, different social groups, that everyone can interact with each other. Like I brought this up before because I feel like we are so polarized and everyone's in their own little corner that I would love to see some kind of organized community where, it's just hot dogs and everyone's just sitting around and having a conversation, listening to music.
In Oakwood, they do an ice cream social.
Yeah. So I mean, just very something similar to that.
It's the Sunday before school goes back. It's like a Sunday afternoon before school starts. And it's at a park and there's free ice cream and you go get your ice cream cone, but then, you can buy tokens and play games. And it's kind of like a carnival, but it's like a back to school rite of passage that you always go back to, or everybody goes to the ice cream social, or do like a scarecrow decorating contest. They do the scarecrow walk where different organizations can sponsor, a different corner. And then that organization comes up with a theme and, it's a punny, like Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. And then everything's in scarecrows, but it involves a whole family or that group. The Girl Scouts can do like zombie cookies or whatever, but it creates community and then they judge them.
Yeah.
What's that?
The creative
Critics
would-
and they
and then we
judge.
judge, and
Yeah.
then there's a winner.
I mean, there has to
But
be
it's
a
fun.
winner.
It's
There has
fun.
to be a winner.
But
It's
to
fun, yeah.
to your point, when I was in courthouse for Jules's basketball, in front of their main courthouse, they had a ton of decorated Christmas trees, and they were all decorated from each local business with a little sign in front of each little Christmas tree. So I really love, I think little things like that make you feel like you're a part of something, that you don't just live here, that you're a part of this community. And I think Wilmington lost a little bit of that identity when DHL pulled out, and I think we're getting it back. I mean, with, Real Change Wilmington, with Main Street Wilmington, with
Shut up, Trevor.
yeah, but like seriously, like even like the Port Authority, I feel like we're slowly trying to bring that sense of community back. And I can sense it and I can feel it. And I think even more just being ingrained as a business owner now.
I have
see it
friends
more
that
and
come
more.
down that are like, this is the cutest small town. I've never been
Yeah.
through here. Like, this is adorable. And they love it. And so I think having the community events, but then having a creative outlet for those as well. And that's why I think the scarecrow decorating or your Christmas tree decorating, where you as an organization have to use your creative energy to produce a product that each of us is innately creative. You may not think that you are, but you are. And this is a Brene Brown thing. Like, unused creativity is just seeds of resentment. Like it is not benign. Unused creativity is not benign. Meaning if you're not using your creative energies, that it will have effects somewhere else in your life. And that we get joy from that. And that we get joy by being part of the community and coming together. All of that is achieved through doing community events like decorating contests. And it may be silly, and judged or not judged is not necessarily important, but it's seeing something through to completion. It's putting a plan together. And, I think it's good. It's why IKEA does well. If you've ever had a piece of IKEA furniture and you're looking at, you could go buy a better piece of furniture somewhere else, but you've taken time and energy to put that bookshelf together. You're not going to give it away.
You throw it away.
You could throw it away. But there's IKEA maybe is a bad example. If you've,
I know what you mean, though.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
If you go to like a craft night and you paint a photo or paint a picture or you make
Yeah.
a wreath,
Yeah.
it's something that you've made.
You feel pride in that creation. And so we've talked about doing classes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I'd like to start is doing like a wreath making class, or, make your own Easter basket, or let's do your arrangement for Mother's Day, or your Easter centerpiece, or your Christmas centerpiece. Whatever that event is, plant your outdoor containers where it's bringing people together. It's having that creative outlet, hopefully with wine. And it's good. It's good for everybody.
I like that you didn't just say having a community events, but like having a creative outlet with the event, and also not always tying it to something transactional.
I don't.
Like,
That's I
so you
want
don't
it
want to go
to
somewhere and
be.
buy something. It's like just
I
go
don't
be
want there to be a
community.
purpose behind it. Like
Right,
not
right.
even like we're raising
to be
funds for
of-
something.
Exactly.
It just needs
Just-
to be.
Right. That's what
I
We're
would-
just here.
I like to call it friend-raising, not fundraising.
There you go. That's a really
Mhm.
good way to put that.
I
You're
feel like we've
you're
lost that in
community building.
100%.
It
You
sounds
said
so
you got-
foreign. You say like, oh yeah, that existed at one time.
It
You know?
did. I don't know if you've ever listened to Pete Buttigieg. It was the book that and now I'm not going to remember the title. It was one of his first books that he released. But he talked about how back in the 70s and 80s, everyone worked at a factory together. You would have work lunches. You would have community picnics. And so it didn't matter what you believed politically or what you believed at your own house. You were breaking bread across a table with your peers, and you got to know them for more than just what little letter was next to the name that they vote for. And so he just talked about how when we lost that kind of community, even in the workplace, we lost that community in our community because now we don't have to go break bread with someone because we're behind a computer screen yelling at people kind of thing.
Or working from home.
And so he just talks about how we just need to kind of not bring that back because obviously, things evolve, technology evolves, our workplace evolves, but we need another outlet for that. We need some other kind of community outlet where we can get together and we can realize, yes, we disagree on this, or yes, we don't agree politically on everything, but we're still people. We're still kind to each other.
Yeah, I don't think you have to even bring politics into it. Like,
But I do
let's just
think,
all come together.
yeah,
let's
but I think that's where the divide
Let's just
is.
eat hot dogs.
Mhm.
Or, and that's why flowers are so great because they're not political. Everybody loves flowers. Except Dustin.
That is not something I said. Listen to the tape. I did not say that. I just said I didn't have a favorite one.
Dustin likes blue.
Your husband likes purple, so like,
I
come
know.
on.
I'm saying, yeah, I choose the purple. I choose the purple form. But the Swedes have a name for it. I think it's called fika, F-I-C-C-A. I think it's the Swedes. I don't know if it's Finnish or Swedish. Social capital that compounds over time. So it's why teams get better that are together longer, because you've got the bricks in the people, but what is important is the mortar. It's what keeps that team together. And it only grows over time, builds over time. It's why it's important to have people from all different experiences and backgrounds on a team. I want somebody that disagrees with me. I want somebody that's like, that looks horrible. Horrible. Oh my God. Why? Like, yeah. Please tell me why you hate this. Like, I love that. I love that because I know at the end of the day, we have the same goal and it's going to build a better product. It's going to be a better design. It's going to be a better team, and where there's safety to have that conversation as well. So yeah, Fika is social cap.
Well, and I think there's a new push too, where to be a good community member, you have to go out and be in your community. I think people want community without having to do the grunt work behind community. You know, they
want to post on social media, but like not actually meet a person.
Correct.
Conversation.
And so, yes, would I like to go home and sit on my couch every single night and just relax? Yes. But being a good friend is going to someone's birthday party when you get invited, and, you know, going and volunteering at my father's kitchen and serving food, or going and restocking the food pantry. You know, like there are certain things where you show up for your community and more than just words, or more than just behind a screen too. I don't know. And I think we were so ingrained that because our mom volunteered. But I mean, if there was something to volunteer for, she has done it or she's currently doing it. Like she's a CASA worker through the courts and she volunteers at so many different
people.
She has more on her social schedule than the two of us combined.
For
like
sure.
Every single day. She has to check her itinerary
look
for the
at my
day. Let me see.
They say people who have better connections live longer, too.
It's so true. It's so true.
Because it's a sense of purpose and a sense of, yeah.
It's funny because my grandpa and my grandma, so my grandpa ran every single day, so healthy, and he passed away a few years ago. My grandma was still around to do any of those things, you know?
Right.
So I think
it's that community. So having a sense of community. Absolutely. I mean, you will live longer. Also, weirdly, if you go to church, which they've shown, if you go to church 1 hour a week, so they're talking about traditional, services on Sunday, you live 7 years longer, an average of 7 years longer. And also, if you floss, that's a side note. I learned that from Sam.
Go to church and floss.
Go to church and floss and know what your favorite flower is.
Okay. God, you will not.
Or we'll help you find it. We'll help you find what your favorite flower is. But I wanted to say one thing to what Caitlin was saying is that I think his name is James Talarco. It was a TikTok that I saw that
he's out of Texas. Yeah.
You only can love God as much as you love the person you hate the most. So if you think about the person you hate the most, like that you just despise, you can only love God that much then. So you better figure that out. And yeah. And then the gift of middle age is you forget a lot of stuff too. So.
This is true.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts? How can people best connect with you if they want to learn more or find you in shop?
Yeah, just stop in. Honestly,
one
one of us is always there.
Yeah. As the kids say, facts.
Yes, facts.
Facts.
The website's great.
Website, stop by.
Yeah. Message, call.
Facebook or social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're working on having a dedicated person to do social, because in all of the areas for growth, it is a growth opportunity for us to have reliable content that's meaningful and has engagement and doesn't have Caitlin up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
And who's doing a good job with social is the library recently.
Really?
They have a TikTok now and it's really fun.
See,
it should be
we're
fun.
Trying to start
It should be fun. It should be ridiculous.
We're trying to recruit our youths, our littles, our
children.
Our children.
Young people working. I saw when I was there, you had some college kids or something.
Oh, yeah. Wilson and my son, Danny. Yeah.
Very cool. This has been a fun podcast. Thank you for your time and thanks for what you do in the community.
Thank you, guys.
Well, that's it for our podcast today. I hope you enjoyed our interview with Kristin Ondulick and Caitlin Mefford. with Swindler Sons Family Florists. If you have any more questions or ideas for them, please feel free to reach out to them directly. If they will talk to us dorks, they will certainly talk to you as well, because after all, we are a community of empowered individuals. If you want to get in touch with Real Change Wilmington and share your story, you can contact us on our website, realchangewilmington.com, visit our Facebook or Instagram pages, or grab a free copy of our local newspaper at Kroger, Sam's Meats, and Fiesta Veracruz. We also currently send our free local newspaper direct mail to over 2,500 Wilmington residents every month. So if you want to help us cover our printing costs and advertise your local business, event, or job posting, please email us at advertise@realchangewilmington.com. With that, I'm your host, Dustin Pierce. Keep it real, Wilmington.